Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Skip Pope Stadium here at Sequoyah High School in scenic Canton, Georgia. A little bit different tonight. We've got a pregame guest with us. We're going to do a little bit of a Sequoyah Chiefs spotlight as we recognize some former players of the program. One of those aforementioned former players is standing here with me in the booth tonight, Eric Robinson. You might remember Eric Robinson as from some of his greatest hits as the 2006 Sequoyah Chiefs, only allowing 108 points, and I think Eric, 50 of those were to one team.
I don't want to get too much into that thing, but yeah, we started off the season well, starting 8-0, and then we kind of fell off at the end. But first of all, thank you, Chase, for having me. I want to send out my condolence to the Reedy family that's a big loss in our community, and former teammate on that same team.
Yeah, a classmate of ours as well.
Led that team in tackles, I believe, and went on to VMI, and he was a great teammate, great friend of mine. And so I just want to send out my condolences to them, and it's a big loss for this community as well as a great loss for everyone he touched. So
absolutely. So our condolences to the Reedy family. He was a fun football player to watch,
yeah.
Eric, and a fantastic person as well. So tell us a little bit about your experience here at Sequoyah High School. Obviously, you and I were part of a different regime, different coaching regime
yes.
here, but they still run the same offense.
Same thing, yeah.
And it's still pretty similar. So go ahead and just tell us about your time here at Sequoyah and what prepared you to go play Division I football after you left out of here.
So it's funny when you say that we still run the same system. Basically, when you hit 7th grade on, you're running the wing tee. You're not even touching a football. You're going through your steps and everything. And Coach Maxwell, who we had, great coach, one of the best influences I've had in my life. We had great coaches on that staff, Coach Face. Just so many guys on that staff that helped develop us and mold us from the very beginning. 7th grade on, they were on us. We were very well disciplined, and a lot of times we shouldn't even be playing with the teams that we played with, but we were so disciplined and we knew what we had to do each week and well prepared that we would beat teams that we shouldn't have. And so we made this big statement. We made some playoff runs, and it was just a lot of fun to be here. I'm bringing my kids to watch the games now, and it's just like it's an honor to watch Sequoyah back, basically.
And you're bringing your kids up through the Cherokee County Youth Program.
Yes.
A little bit different umbrella program at the Cherokee Warriors,
sure.
But one of the great things about Cherokee County, and I think you can probably attest to this because you've come back basically, is that one of the things that people always say about Cherokee County is how great the community is.
Right.
Talking to people in the football programs, talking to first responders, they always sing the praises of Cherokee County. So what is it about this place and about this county that keeps you coming back?
Everyone is so kind, if that makes sense. Like everyone supports each other. When we played, there's only 4 county schools. Now there's 6. I mean, Cherokee County football has become this big juggernaut and competitive in the state. Like we have River Ridge last year coming out of nowhere, making almost a long run in the state playoffs, and then it was nice to see the Sequoyah Cherokee rivalry come back. But yeah, what it is about Cherokee County, I mean, it's just there's a different feeling here than when you go to other counties. It's just every school in here can beat you any other week. And it's just to come out of the Cherokee County as like winning the county, I guess you want to say, is saying something about your team because Cherokee County is building something special, and it's fun to watch coming back. So.
Yeah, it's an absolute blast to see some of these teams sometimes. You mentioned River Ridge and Creekview coming into the fold. Creekview wasn't even a school when we graduated. I mean, it was a school, but they didn't have varsity. They weren't playing varsity football.
No, they didn't get to play when I was there. My cousin actually played there. But, yeah, they were good from the very beginning. But what's funny about them is they were based from Sequoyah people. Yep. Coach Morrell built that up. And now Trevor Williams also played at Sequoyah, is now the head coach over there. So they have a little Sequoyah blood running through there. So I guess if you want to poke fun at that rivalry, I mean, they're built on Sequoyah. So.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it definitely felt like that because, it was almost like 75% of the, good, not to say good football players, but a lot of really good football players ended up at that Cherokee County program,
including my cousin
program.
Yeah.
And it really laid a solid foundation for them to become probably the premier team in Cherokee County, definitely this year. I mean, they took down Cherokee, and if they can take down River Ridge, and Sequoyah's got a showdown with them coming up in a few weeks.
That's going to be a fun one.
It'll be a good watch, and that Sequoyah Creekview game will be brought to you courtesy of WLJA Radio. We will not be broadcasting live from that one. You'll hear that one with Will Cooper and Art Mosley on WLJA. But, Eric, one more thing. A big region game here for the Chiefs tonight.
Yeah.
Johns Creek and Sequoyah. This ended up being the game last year. due to the playoff math that kept Sequoyah out of it.
Right.
If they'd have probably just kicked one more field goal or got a few more points, they could have gotten that 4 seed.
Yeah, with Sequoyah, I coached at Woodstock High School last year with Coach Buddy. Coach Buddy came over here as the defensive coordinator, and I feel like he's been a great addition to their staff. But even when we were playing each other last year, I knew Sequoyah had something going. They had a rough start, starting off I think 0-4 or something like that. But you knew they were going to be a solid team, solid foundation, and they're showing it right now.
Yeah, they ended up dropping their first 5 games, but it was almost like they flipped a switch in the second half of the year where they rattled off 4 of their last 5 games they won.
Right.
And obviously falling to River Ridge because almost everybody lost to River Ridge last year.
Yeah.
And River Ridge got to go, like we said earlier, play in the state quarterfinals where they played Lee County, and Lee County is a powerhouse school, and Lee County did what Lee County does, and kind of took care of that. But moving on up in the football world, like it's so great to see Cherokee County doing so well, and it's interesting to see these new region alignments. Sequoyah, particularly when you and I were in the program, Cambridge, Creekview, like all these schools that are in the region now that we'd probably never even heard of, that weren't even schools, and it just goes to show how big this area is getting.
Yes, for sure. And the respect level for Cherokee County is huge now. I mean, before you would mention you played at Sequoyah or whatever, and someone from the other side of the state wouldn't even know where that was. Now they're like, oh yeah, you guys have the Michigan helmets or stuff like that. So it's awesome to see it grow, and it's awesome to see the county take off as a whole. And yeah, it's a great time to be part of Cherokee County football.
I think one of the hardest things when I first moved down here during high school, getting into this program, was putting on a helmet that looked like a Michigan team. Being an Ohio native, that was. You'd stand there looking at the helmet going, I don't know about this. But if you wanted to even practice, you had to wear the helmet.
At least it's black and gold, not blue and gold.
Well, it's guilty by association in my book. But, we had some really, really good times, particularly in that program. They renamed the field house after Coach Ray Face.
Right.
Everybody who was who kind of went to school with us and before us, we look back on Coach Face fondly, and everybody's got a good Coach Face story. Maybe take a shot and share some of those good ones with us.
I mean, okay, Coach Face is always good to me. Never had any. I got yelled at a couple times from him, but
who didn't? Yeah,
I remember it was Halloween. I was dressed up as a banana. I was walking through the hall, and I was always a quiet kid in high school, so you wouldn't expect that from me. But I was walking down the hall to the locker room, and he walks by me, stops, looks at me, gives me like the death stare, shakes his head, and then just keeps walking. And at that moment, I was like, oh my gosh, this did not happen. So yeah, that was the last time I ever dressed up for Halloween at school again. But yeah, I love that man. He's a great coach, great influence. I'm glad they're giving him his recognition.
Absolutely.
And he was one of the best coaches I've ever had, for sure.
Yeah. And, the influence of just this Wing T program. I mean, you've got Coach Maxwell. He's over at Dawson County now. Coach Parker. Coach Parker has his own, basically his own podcast and own show, and he's running his own resource. His own resource. What is the Parker resource? Like a coaching resource?
Yeah, it's to help all the coaches that are trying to build a winning program.
Yeah.
A winning culture, which he has done that. He went to Pickens. He went to Chapel Hill.
Yep.
We played Chapel Hill when he was coaching here, and we knew that if they had great coaching, they'd be something. And he went over there, took them to the playoffs. That says a lot about him. He's always been a very organized guy. So yeah, I always loved Coach Parker. He would stay hard on me, but I appreciated it because it made me a better player, and he was a great coach here. So he always knew he'd take off and be a good head coach somewhere.
Yeah, you never really appreciate that tough love when it's happened to you in the moment. When you look back on it as an adult, you're like, man, those guys were really just trying to set me straight and set me up for success in the future. And in your case, they did, because you ended up going and playing for Western Carolina.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about that.
I went to Western Carolina. I was originally signed to VMI, decommitted last second. Wish I didn't. But, Western Carolina, great experience. I played there 2008, 2012. Unfortunately, concussions ended it for me. But I don't regret any of that. It was a great learning experience for me. It helped me grow as a person. I did meet my significant other, I guess you want to say, there. And I was able to have my 3 boys. So it brought a lot. It's been a big blessing in my life. It's an experience I wouldn't trade for anything. But yeah, Western Carolina, we were always kind of had it rough. We were never a winning school, if you want to say that. But it's a great experience, and now I see Western Carolina recruiting through here all the time.
Yep.
And it's great to see people, as a former Catamount myself, them come through here and give Cherokee County a look. And that goes to Cherokee County growing like it's supposed to. So, but yeah.
Well, awesome. It's glad to see you back here in Cherokee County. Eric, thank you so much for joining us. We wish you the best, and I can't wait to see what your boys can do on the football field. And if they're anything like their dad, they're going to be a killer football player. So
they're better than their dad, for sure.
So thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see you around the game.
For sure. Thank you for having me.
Yep. So, folks, that's Eric Robinson, our interview of our Chief Spotlight, our Sequoyah Spotlight former player who came up through the program. We're going to go ahead and take a quick break at this time because we're fixing to get underway here in about 28 minutes. So we'll be back after this short break as we bring you the Region 7 6A opener between the Sequoyah Chiefs and the Johns Creek Gladiators. I am Chase Shaffer. We'll see you after the break. Cherokee County, Georgia, specifically Sequoyah High School, on a warm but overcast evening here at Skip Popp Memorial Stadium, the site of tonight's Region 7 6A opener, featuring the hometown Sequoyah Chiefs and the visiting Johns Creek Gladiators. I am Chase Shaffer. Joining me in the booth, as always, is my colleague Will Hoogendyk. Will, a big one on tap here tonight as both teams look to start their region schedules off on the right foot.
That's right, Chase. A big matchup here tonight. Last year's game turned out to be a deciding factor in this 6A playoff race, and I suspect that this year's contest will be no different. Last
year's contest was a low-scoring affair. Sequoyah traveled over to Fulton County to take on the Gladiators, and they were defeated by a score of 14-10.
Chase, a lot of things have changed for both teams since then. Matthew Traynor has solidified his position as the captain of this offense, and the Chiefs have retooled their entire defensive scheme. They now run a scheme that should help them keep up with the speed from this Johns Creek offense.
Willie heard from Coach Teeter in an interview with our friends over on the Football Fridays at the Tavern podcast, saying that one thing he was very concerned about was the speed at the skill positions for Johns Creek. So we'll see if Coach Buddy and the defense can mitigate some of the damage that the Johns Creek players can cause. And Johns Creek got a crack last week with another wing team playing St. Pius, who they defeated 14-3.
Coach Teeter brought up a good point when talking to Vaughn and Art on the podcast when he said that St. Pius runs their wing tee skewed more towards the option. The Chiefs have a bit more of a right hand down your throat mentality when it comes to their offensive scheme. And while Johns Creek can get a chance to try their hand versus a wing tee team, that also means that Coach Teeter got to see how the Gladiators will line up defensively.
So changing gears for a second, another thing that bears mentioning is the talent on this Johns Creek team on both sides of the football. Sequoyah has a good defensive line anchored on each side by Harrison Hood and Avery Bourne, but they'll be going up against three-star offensive lineman and Georgia Tech commit Tyler Gibson, who as a senior in high school is already a whole man, standing at 6'5" and weighing 270 pounds. On the other side of the ball, Sequoyah going to have to line up against the top defensive line prospect in the nation for the class of 2024 as T.A. Cunningham, along with the three-star defensive back and Stanford commit Terrion Williams. So a tall ask for the Chiefs tonight, as their first region game is clearly no easy out.
Yeah, Chase, but let's not forget that Sequoyah has had its fair share of talent as well. Sequoyah's offense is already averaging 330 yards a game. Pie scores Lucas, Hancock, and Traynor are all creeping up on 200 rushing yards apiece, and we're only 3 games into the season, and Peyton Lucas and Jack Pie scores sat out 2 weeks ago versus Cass. Sequoyah's no slouches on the other side of the ball, as well as Hancock is one of the top ball hawks in the state of Georgia with 3 interceptions so far. Oh yeah, and he's only a sophomore as well.
So it should be a good one on hand here tonight from the flat. Stay tuned. During halftime, our Touchdown Club president Mark Lucas and father of Chiefs fullback Peyton Lucas will join us and give us a first half analysis and show some of the behind the scenes aspects of what the Touchdown Club does for this Sequoyah program, as we see Johns Creek starting to creep out of the visitors' locker room that is nestled inside Coach Ray Face Memorial Fieldhouse. Had a chance to reminisce about Coach Face a little earlier, as former Sequoyah Chief and Western Carolina Catamount Eric Robinson joined us for a little bit of a pregame conversation. We'll chop that up and get it sent back out over the airwaves probably tomorrow, but it was good to get with him, see a fellow classmate, and reminisce about some good times in the Sequoyah Chiefs program. Johns Creek going to be wearing their white tops and the gold pants and the gold helmet, very reminiscent of that San Francisco 49ers look. Sequoyah going to come out with the alternate jerseys tonight, wearing the gray with the black pants and the black helmet. So a good one here tonight, as the cheerleaders going to go ahead and start getting the sign set up for these Sequoyah Chiefs. Sequoyah's band here tonight in full effect as they're starting to play some music for us. A little bit of a lighter crowd on the Johns Creek side of things. We hope that just means that there's more of them watching at home on ChiefsTV.org. So we should see a good one here tonight. Less than 10 minutes to go before we get this one underway. Will, we talked last year, Sequoyah was unable to score an offensive touchdown. The only touchdown that they scored was a Jonah Haney pick six, as the Chiefs were able to get some pressure on the quarterback, and a tipped pass fell right into Haney's lap, and he was able to waltz right into the end zone for a touchdown. Sequoyah going to have to do a bit more than that here tonight.
That's correct, Jason. Going back to what we were talking about in our pregame, Sequoyah's offense has looked a lot better this year, so that is good news for them, and their defense has been looking solid as well. So I think that Sequoyah will come out swinging a bit more than they did last year and have a better result, but either way, it's going to be a great game. Both teams are 2-1. This is the first region game for both teams. As we said, it was a deciding game last year for the playoffs, and I'm sure it's going to be one tonight as well.
Sequoyah started their season off against Woodstock. They traveled down to Town Lake Parkway where they defeated the Wolverines 28-0. Will, the following week we came home for the first time in our first regular season broadcast of the year, and not too many more games are going to live up to that one as Sequoyah and Cherokee went down to the wire with the Chiefs ultimately on the wrong end of a two-point conversion call. They fell to the Warriors 26-25, and then the week following that, Sequoyah traveled over to Cass in the Bartow County School District, where they were victorious by a score of 37-23. Jackson Hancock in that game had over 120 rushing yards in the first half alone. Taking a look at Johns Creek's schedule for a second. They started off their season as they played Gainesville in the Corky Kell Classic. They were victorious 26-10. But then the following week, they went over to Carrollton on the western side of the state and took on Coach King and Carrollton. Carrollton defeated them by a score of 41-28. Johns Creek took a bye week, and then last week they played St. Pius. Trying to get a look at some wing T football. They were able to defeat them 14-3. So both teams coming into this one 2-1. And Will, who are some of the players to watch here tonight?
Well, Chase, just looking at these Sequoyah stats, I mean, Jack Piescores is a huge name. He's been a great guy this season so far. He scored 2 touchdowns already. And, Chase, looking at last season's stats, he only had 2 touchdowns all of last year, so he's already off to a phenomenal start to his senior season here, matching the number of touchdowns he had last year. So he's definitely going to be a player to watch.
Let's take a look at Jackson Hancock for a second. 256 rushing yards and a touchdown. Also 3 interceptions on the year. Peyton Lucas sat out last week, as we mentioned earlier, but he looks to be back, and he will take snaps at fullback for Sequoyah. He's already at 195 yards, so he's close to averaging 100 yards a game since he's only played in 2 of them. Jack Piescore is going to go in with 183 yards. We saw him really utilized in the first half against Cherokee, Will. They were really pounding the ball up the middle with Piescore. He went down in the middle of that game, and Lucas had to take over for him. But Sequoyah's running game, like we said earlier, averaging 330 rushing yards a game. That is insane. And to have that many guys who are averaging 100 yards per game, Sequoyah's run game has really become a force to be reckoned with.
That's correct, Chase. And Lucas and Piescores, as you said, has been kind of Trainer and Sequoyah's 1-2 punch here on the offense, just able to be getting so many rushing yards and also touchdowns as well.
The other side of the ball, Johns Creek has a defensive back, Terrian Williams, who's committed to Stanford. That'd be a quality education right there. Tyler Gibson, the offensive lineman, also committed to Georgia Tech. Kyle Durham going to be quarterbacking for Johns Creek. T.A. Cunningham, we talked about him earlier, a force to be reckoned with on that defensive line. Thaxton Gallagher, no slouch at linebacker, and Tylen Johnson, another player to watch. Sequoyah has never beaten Johns Creek, Will. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so going back to last year's game, Sequoyah had a very hard time moving the ball on offense. As you said, the only points scored were that Jonah Haney pick 6 as well as a Steven Zarita field goal. And it was a pivotal game in the playoff again. And Sequoyah was on the outside looking in due to aggregate points between them, Johns Creek and Cambridge.
And that 14-10 score was only the 3rd time those teams had ever met. The 2 previous times were in 2010 and 2011. Johns Creek victorious in both of them. The 2010 game was separated by 3 points as Johns Creek won 24-21. The 2011 game was a little bit further out of reach as Johns Creek blanked the Chiefs 34-0. Will, Sequoyah starting 2-1 this year. The last time Sequoyah started 2-1 after 3 games, they made the playoffs, where they were eliminated by Mays in the first round, and that was back in 2017. So through 3 games so far, Sequoyah has outscored their opponents 90-49. That's a stark contrast from last year, where through the first 3 games, Sequoyah was outscored 97-70.
That's right, Chase. And since 2018, Johns Creek has won 2 region titles, and Sequoyah's last region title wasn't until 2003. So Sequoyah is really looking to get some footing here in this Johns Creek rivalry. As we said, they've been outscored by quite a bit in their last 3 matchups. So there's really a lot to live up to in this matchup tonight.
Yeah, Sequoyah would be nice for the Chiefs to get another region title. Their last one, like you said, was in 2003. Will, how old were you the last time the Sequoyah Chiefs won a region title?
I was not even born yet, Chase.
Wow. Not even born yet. So Sequoyah is definitely due for a region title, as here the Chiefs come out of the locker room just in the shadow of that brand new scoreboard that the Chiefs got. I want to thank all of you for joining us here tonight on ChiefsTV.org. I want to thank everybody who also came out to the game. Under 3 minutes left to go before we get underway here. You know, the Cass game, we mentioned earlier that Pie Scores and Lucas were out for that game. Doing a fantastic job, though. Cruz Wright stepped up, and so did Javon Salazar, as Sequoyah had another fantastic running, and they even put up 37 points. So missing their, 2 of their 3 top running options, they were still able to score 37 points on a Cass defense that shut them out the year before.
Yeah, and again, going back to what we were saying about their last 2-1 start, they've had such a better start than they did last year, and they just outscored their opponents by so much more, and their offense, and that's just a testament to how much better their offense and defense has really looked this year.
And it looks like, Will, they haven't had any trouble carrying over the momentum from last season. As you know, they got off to a rough start, starting 0-5, but they were able to rattle off 4 of their next 5 games. And most importantly, 4 of those 5 games were all region games. So if there's ever a time to get hot, particularly in high school football, it is definitely during region schedule when it really matters.
That's absolutely correct, and that's exactly what the Chiefs will be looking to do here tonight.
As we take a look and see who's going to win the coin toss here. So Johns Creek wins the toss, and they're going to defer, so we'll see the Sequoyah Chiefs offense come out onto the field first. We'll see if they can keep that red-hot streak of 330-yard rushing games intact, as Sequoyah going to try and score in the end zone on the right side of the field, over there by the field house and under the shadow of the new scoreboard. So strap in and buckle up, folks, as we get ready to get underway here on the flat in Canton, Georgia, here from Skip Popp Memorial Stadium. A little bit of a brief history on Skip Popp real quick. On October 20th, 1991, a tragic automobile accident claimed the life of Sequoyah's first athletic director and assistant principal. Skip was not only instrumental in developing the standards and beginning the legacy for Sequoyah, but he was also a man who was truly loved by his family, friends, faculty, and students. And in tribute to him, the football stadium was respectfully named Skip Popp Stadium. Because of the dedication and love that he put into making Sequoyah a place of honor and pride, he is remembered still today as one of the great pioneers in the history of Sequoyah football. As Sequoyah getting ready to come through the banner. As we get ready to tune up the band here, as we're almost ready to get underway for tonight's Region 7 6A opener between the Sequoyah Chiefs and the Johns Creek Gladiators. Once again, I want to thank you for joining us on Chiefs TV. I am Chase Shaffer, and joining me to my left is my esteemed colleague and the best color analyst in Georgia high school football, Will Hoogendyk. And here come the Chiefs through the banner. Tune up the band as we're ready to get underway here on a Friday night in Georgia. A heavyweight tilt here tonight in Region 7 6A. Both teams looking to escape with their first region win of the year, and it will be a critical one as both of these teams in excellent position this year to make a playoff push. So Sequoyah's offense getting ready to take the field as they will receive the first half kickoff. Will, one of the things this offense has done a good job of doing all year is creating very, very long drives that eat up a lot of clock. and then having a defense that keeps the other team from scoring, and then before you know it, you look up and you're down 14 points to the Sequoyah Chiefs team.
That's precisely right, and that's exactly what the wing T offense is designed for, is bleeding the clock and running plays, and that's exactly what the Chiefs do all the time. They just are able to slowly move down the field and most of the time score a touchdown, and that's exactly what they want to hear.
Getting ready to kick this one away is McCray Ball, the senior place kicker for the Johns Creek Gladiators. Back to receive for Sequoyah, quarterback and safety Matthew Trainer, and defensive back Jackson Hancock, and we are underway here from Skip Popp Stadium. Backpedaling is Jackson Hancock. He takes it at the 1. Going to come up to the near side of the field and wrapped up and slowed up at the 10-yard line. So Sequoyah going to have to start their first possession from deep inside their own territory.
That's where the Chiefs will take over.
So Matthew Trainer going to lead the troops out onto the field for the first time tonight. A rare athlete in 6A football as he plays both sides of the ball. He plays safety and quarterback. So Sequoyah going to start with one wide receiver to the near side, Trainer under center. Johns Creek putting a lot of men in the box, running back in motion, handoff up the middle, and that one is going to be carried for a pickup of 5 yards. So Lucas with the opening carry for Sequoyah. Looks like he'll pick up 4. So 2nd and 6 coming up for Sequoyah as the Chiefs are testing the up the middle run. No wide receivers this time, wingbacks on both sides. Trainer under center hands this one off in another attempt at going up the middle, and Sequoyah might have gotten a yard, maybe got back to the line of scrimmage. So 3rd down and medium coming up for the Chiefs as they have tested that middle on the first 2 runs of the game. Trainer under center, rolls out of the pocket. He's got some pressure, throws that one, and it's going to fall incomplete. And that'll bring up 4th down as the pass was intended for Jackson Hancock. So 2 runs up the middle and a rollout pass, and Sequoyah going to have to punt this ball away deep in their own territory. That should set Johns Creek up in very good field position. Brandon Palmer, the senior wide receiver, is back to receive the punt for the Gladiators. And Johns Creek going to have to take a timeout as they had somebody running off the field there at the last second.
Timeout, Johns Creek. Johns Creek. First timeout now.
So as we get our first timeout of the game, we're going to go ahead and throw it over to some of our sponsor reads. Will, take it away.
Alrighty. First, we have Pride Electric, longtime supporters and past Chiefs football alumni at Pride Electric. They are proud to remain a part of the Sequoyah family of Chiefs. Next, we have All About Health. They are located in Woodstock on Highway 92 in the Publix Plaza. Since 1998, All About Health has been providing knowledgeable service that makes a difference. From vitamins and minerals, herbs to supplements, their extensive inventory fills all of our health goals. Find out what separates them from the competition and stop by today.
So after a quick 3 and out, Sequoyah going to have to punt this one away to the Gladiators. Palmer back to receive the punt. We've only lost a little over 1 minute and 15 seconds. High snap handled, and that one's going to be booted away. A good kick as Palmer going to have to chase this one back to the 43-yard line, and he's going to cross midfield where he will be swarmed and taken down at the Chiefs' 46-yard line. So we'll get a first look at this Johns Creek offense. We'll see if Sequoyah's defense can get that offense another crack at it. Durham in the shotgun for the Gladiators. Wide receiver in motion, cross the near side, handoff. He's going to go to the right. Got some room around the 40 and might have picked up the first down on a big first carry for Johns Creek as Tylen Johnson, the 5'10" running back, pushes this one ahead, and he's going to get a first down on the first play of the game for Johns Creek. So Johns Creek moving the ball very well on their first play of the game. Motion across again, now going to be a handoff to the wide receiver. He's going to come to the inside, to the near side of the field, got a lot of room along the sideline. He'll finally be tackled out of bounds by Jackson Hancock. So another big pickup by Josh Thompson, the senior wide receiver, as he came in from the slot, took the handoff, and ran down the sideline as Johns Creek is now in business inside the Sequoyah red zone. Ball spotted on the 19-yard line, 2 wide receivers apiece. Johnson going to take the handoff. He's going to go to the right side. Got a little room up the middle and another big run as Johns Creek working the running game to effect as they pick up 9. Looks like that'll be 2nd and 7, or 2nd and 2, so a pickup of 8. Little pressure in the backfield. Durham's got to roll out, and he's finally tackled and thrown to the ground, but he got enough for the first down. So a clean set of sticks has Johns Creek operating in Sequoyah territory at the 6-yard line. Johns Creek going tempo. Durham in the shotgun. Calls for the ball. Hands that one off. No, fakes it. Fires to the end zone. And that one falls incomplete. So the first play for Johns Creek that doesn't go for positive yardage. They tried to find the wide receiver sitting down in the middle of the end zone, but a Sequoyah defensive back was able to get in there and smack that ball away. Empty backfield for Durham. He's going to take it himself. He goes to the right side, and he'll run into the end zone for a Johns Creek touchdown. So Johns Creek with the initial strike here from Skip Popp Memorial Stadium, as it's been a tale of 2 series as Sequoyah was unable to get anything going offensively, but Johns Creek set up an excellent field position, was able to march right down the field and stick it in the end zone to take the early lead here at Skip Popp Stadium.
Well, Chase, if that first drive was any indication of what Johns Creek is going to be doing, we're going to have 2 very opposing offenses here. Johns Creek ran tempo that whole time, very opposite of what Sequoyah is doing tonight.
So ball in for the extra point. Good snap. That one is up and through, so it'll be 7-0 here after both teams have their first chance on offense with 9:06 left to go in the first quarter. Your score, the Johns Creek Gladiators 7, the Sequoyah Chiefs 0. We'll go ahead and finish out those sponsor reads for us real quick.
Alrighty, next we have Property Masters, proudly servicing the Southeast since 1996. Property Masters' team of experts provides the broadest range of landscape services to make our homes' outdoor spaces beautiful and functional. And lastly, we have Ready Mix USA. They are a proud sponsor of the Sequoyah Chiefs community. As a supplier of industry-leading products and solutions to satisfy the construction needs of their community, Ready Mix USA is honored to help build a better future for Cherokee County and the greater Atlanta area.
So we got a chance to take a look at both teams' offenses. Sequoyah came out in a more conservative setup as they went up the middle on their first 2 plays and then had Trainer roll out. Looked like it was going to be a good pickup, but it was just beyond reach of Jackson Hancock. So they punted the ball away and starting in excellent field position. Johns Creek was able to drive down the field and punch that one in the end zone. So ball ready to kick off. Trainer and Hancock back to receive the kick. Hancock comes up to the 5 and takes it on the far side of the field. He runs with a full head of steam. He's got a little room. If he can get it into second gear, ball's got to catch him, and he's going to be dragged down from behind at the 43-yard line. So a big return for Jackson Hancock as he was finally brought down by Josh Thompson on the kickoff return. So Sequoyah with significantly better field position to start this second drive as they started their last drive at the 10-yard line. And now they will be on Johns Creek side of the field. 8:56 left to go in the opening round of this Region 7 6A heavyweight tilt. Ball on the near hash. It was officially spotted at the 43. Sequoyah coming out in that power I formation. Trainer hands this one off and swallowed immediately in the backfield by a host of Johns Creek defenders. It is Jackson Hancock, and that'll be a loss of 2. So that'll bring up second down and 12 for the Chiefs. So Sequoyah's offense still struggling to move the ball against this Johns Creek defense. Sequoyah. Trainer under center, fakes the handoff, rolls out to the far side of the field, has a receiver open, that's Lucas, and Lucas runs down the sideline. Let's see where they spot him out of bounds. Not sure if they picked up the first down or not, but it's going to be really close. So the first completed pass of the night is going to move the sticks for the Chiefs, and that'll be a first down as Peyton Lucas receives the Matthew Trainer pass, and Sequoyah picks up their first down of the evening.
And Sequoyah looking much better so far this second offensive drive. As a nice cross-body motion, what we talk about all the time with Trainer, a nice pass to Lucas there to get the first down for us.
Sequoyah look like they're going to go back into that power I again. Hancock and Lucas behind Trainer. Trainer settles in, 1st and 10 for the Chiefs. Ball on the 38-yard line. Handoff up the middle again, and churning the legs is going to be Peyton Lucas as he picks up 4 yards. Correction, that was not the ball carrier. Ball carrier was going to be Cruz Wright. So Cruz Wright officially picks up 3 as he gets the ball to the 30-yard line. Clock is still running, 7:50 left to go in the opening quarter of play here tonight from Skip Popp Memorial Stadium as Trainer settles in under center. Hands this one off, and a staunch defensive line for Johns Creek plugs all the gaps and no gain for Sequoyah, so 3rd and long coming up for the Chiefs.
And Chase, Sequoyah's tried that run up the middle play quite a few times already tonight, and they've been stopped quite short by Johns Creek every time, so I think they're going to need to go back to the playbook and try a different one because that's not working out so far tonight.
Sequoyah probably going to stay true to who they are, as we'll see later on in the game if that starts to wear down that Johns Creek defensive front. Trainer under center motion to the near side of the field, ball on the far hash. Tosses this one over to Wright, and Wright is run into after a pickup of about 4. And that will bring up 4th and 3 for the Chiefs. As the ball is on the 26-yard line, offense staying out on the field for Sequoyah. Will, we saw this a lot in the preseason scrimmage. One of the things that the Chiefs really worked on against Etowah was that 4th down offense and trying to convert 4th and shorts.
That's correct. They went 7 for 7, so let's see what they can put together here tonight.
Cameron Massey, the wide receiver on the far side of the field. Trainer under center. Hancock and Trainer going to roll out, and he's going to take him himself, and he's got a running lane. Cuts back to the near side of the field and dropped at the 10-yard line. So Matthew Trainer says, I will do it myself, and scampers up the middle for a Sequoyah first down. Will, like I was going to say before they took the snap, is that was one of the things that Sequoyah had worked on was that 4th down conversion offense. We saw that a lot in the preseason game, and Sequoyah able to convert again on 4th and short here early on in the game. And that puts Sequoyah inside the Johns Creek red zone, ball on the 12-yard line. Trainer takes the snap, hands this one off up the middle, and there's some running room, and rumbling ahead to the 3-yard line is going to be Cruz Wright. So 2nd and really short. Sequoyah can get a new set of downs if they just get to the 2-yard line. 5:50 left to go. Sequoyah looking to tie it up, threatening to score here on this Johns Creek defense. Lucas and Wright behind him. Hands it off to Wright, and Wright's going to be wrapped up for maybe a gain of 1. So 3rd and really short as Cruz Wright maybe gets a yard. 5:25 left to go in the opening round here from Skip Popp Stadium. So 3rd and inches here for Sequoyah. Trainer going to get under center. Sequoyah coming out in that power I. Handoff up the middle to Jackson Hancock, and he crosses the goal line for a Sequoyah Chiefs touchdown. So with 5 minutes and 5 seconds to go in the first quarter, Sequoyah answers with a touchdown of their own. And pending the extra point, we will be all tied up at 7. Oh, a bad snap, and that one's no good as it's going to fall to the turf. Still struggling to find the football, and it's picked up by Sequoyah, but a disastrous point after attempt, and we've got a late flag coming in.
So after that score,
This could change things up a little bit.
Johns Creek rally at 98-7.
Looks like that's going to be on Johns Creek.
Pound Sequoyah Chiefs 6.
So we'll wait on the official word from the men in stripes and see what comes about after this as Sequoyah's offense is staying on the field. As it stands right now, the point after try was no good, a really high snap. As the head official comes over to talk to Coach Teeter to see what he wants to do.
Well, personal foul on the defense. Penalty will finish it on the kickoff.
So that will be enforced on the kickoff. So an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty on Johns Creek, and it's getting a little testy early here from the flat in Canton, Georgia. So your score right now, Johns Creek on top of Sequoyah 7-6. And Will, this was one of the things we saw in the Cherokee game is Sequoyah's special teams woes basically kept them from winning the game. Let's hope that doesn't happen here again tonight.
That's right. They don't have that cornerstone of a kicker, Zarita, to count on this year. He was a great help. You could always count on him for the extra point and field goals, but that is something they're going to have to work on here tonight. The offense did look great there with putting together those plays to get that touchdown, but special teams are definitely going to need a little bit of work.
So the special teams woes continue for the Chiefs as they are unable to tie it up, but a positive answer from this Chiefs offense as they drive down the field after an excellent kickoff return by Jackson Hancock. And it is now a 1-point game with 5:05 left to go in the opening quarter. So Sequoyah kicking off from the Johns Creek 45-yard line. And that one's going to go into the back of the end zone. And a touchback for Johns Creek. So will Johns Creek very easily move the ball on their first offensive possession of the series. Sequoyah going to have to dial it up here and see if they can force a punt back over the offense.
That's correct, Chase. They scored that touchdown in a little less than 3 minutes. That was very impressive of the Johns Creek. They ran tempo the whole time, didn't huddle once, knew exactly what they were doing, and it clearly caught the Chiefs defense off guard. So let's see if the Chiefs will be able to get a better read on this on the Johns Creek offense this drive.
Durham in the shotgun mishandles the snap. He's going to take off with it, and he'll be dragged down after a pickup of about 2. So both team centers having a little trouble on the long snap. Durham able to turn it into a positive, though, as he picks up about 3 yards for Johns Creek, as that'll bring up 2nd and 7. Shotgun again, 2 wide receivers to the near side, ball on the far side. Hash fakes the handoff, finds a man up over the middle, and that's going to be enough for a first down, as that one is caught by Rowan Darnell. And he's down at the 35-yard line. And in 2 plays, Johns Creek has picked up 15 yards. Durham going to hand this one off. They're going to test that middle again and drag down for no gain. It's going to be Johnson, the running back. They're going to give him a yard. They're going to say he got 1 yard on that one, but Sequoyah was able to wrap him up for a short gain. 4 minutes left to go in the first quarter. Durham in the shotgun again. Hands that one off to Johnson, who finds a little room, but not too much, and that'll bring up 3rd and long for Johns Creek. So it looks like Sequoyah playing the run a little bit tighter here on the second drive for the Gladiators.
Yeah, that's correct. They're having a much better read so far than they were that first drive, being able to read what Johns Creek is doing a lot earlier and stop them much earlier, and they haven't been able to get nearly as far down the field as they were the first drive.
Durham again takes the snap, drops back to pass, fires one over the middle. It's caught, and they're going to pick up the first down, and a lot more is streaking down the sideline. Is going to be the receiver for Johns Creek. As the receiver on that one is Taryn Williams, and a big gain moves the Gladiators into Sequoyah territory. Ball spotted on the opposite 35-yard line. Going tempo now is the Gladiators. Faking the handoff is Durham, and he's going to slide down after a pickup of about 5. So a nice read there by Durham on the run-pass option, and he carries that one for a big gain on first down. 2nd and 5. Johns Creek going tempo. Sequoyah still not in position yet. Taking the snap, looking to his right, now coming back to his left as he goes through his progressions. Finds a receiver, and he's going to pick up about 3 yards as that one is caught by Darnell, the senior tight end, and 3rd and short coming up for the Gladiators. Durham again takes the snap, hands this one off up the middle, and rumbling ahead for a first down is going to be Johnson. So a fresh set of downs. As Johns Creek is on Sequoyah's 22-yard line, knocking on the door of the red zone. 1 wide receiver on the far side, 2 on the near. Hand off to Johnson again. Johnson wrapped up near the line of scrimmage, and I don't think he got anything on that one. And that'll bring up 2nd and 10. 2 minutes and 10 seconds left to go in the first quarter here, as your score is Johns Creek 7, Sequoyah 6. The only difference is a bad snap on the point after attempt by the Chiefs, but Johns Creek threatening to score here just on the outskirts of the Sequoyah red zone. Durham takes the snap, drops back, going to fire a deep pass, and I think, oh, that one's going to be caught. What a catch, touchdown, Johns Creek. And Sequoyah continues to have no answers for this Johns Creek offense. Touchdown scored by number 9, Taryn Williams. And Johns Creek jumps back out to a touchdown lead. Ball comes in for the extra point for the Gladiators. And that one is up and through the upright. So your score with 1:46 left to go in the first quarter. Johns Creek all over Sequoyah, 14-6.
And Chase, that Johns Creek tempo that they're running on their offense clearly seems to be working for them. Sequoyah cannot find an answer most times. They had a couple good looks there where they stopped him early, but just when Sequoyah was starting to figure them out, Johns Creek threw something different at him, and they were able to get the touchdown pretty quickly here.
Once again, want to remind everybody that during halftime, our Touchdown Club president, Mark Lucas, will come and join me for a quick word. So if you want to stick around before the band performance, please feel free to, as we talk to Mr. Lucas. Johns Creek getting ready to kick this one back off to the Chiefs. Sequoyah's last offensive drive was sparked by an excellent kickoff return by Jackson Hancock. We'll see if Sequoyah can put it together again and bring this one back to within a slim margin. Ball getting ready to kick off. Trainer and Hancock both back to receive. Good kick there by Ball, as they're going to watch that one go into the end zone, as Sequoyah content to get the touchback and start from their own 20-yard line. Want to thank everyone joining us here tonight on ChiefsTV.org. We hope you enjoy this student-run broadcast. I want to thank all of the students involved in putting together a top-quality broadcast for your viewing pleasure here tonight from Sequoyah High School. So the Sequoyah offense back out onto the field again, trying to keep Sequoyah in the game with 1:46 left to go in the first quarter. Johns Creek on top of them 14-6. Trainer going to hand this one off and finding some room on the right side, but swallowed up immediately. Going to be Jackson Hancock, so 2nd and 9 coming up for the Chiefs. Hancock going to come out and take a breather. Checking in for him is going to be Tyler Bell. Massey going to come out and be the far side wide receiver. Snap taken. Trainer rolls out of the pocket. He's looking for a man downfield and overthrows Massey, who was double covered. And that's going to bring up 3rd and 9 for Sequoyah. Trainer jogging back to the huddle after he goes to the sideline to get the play. 1:05 left to go in the first quarter here from Skip Popp Stadium. Ball on the far hash. One wide receiver to the near side of the field. Trainer takes the snap, rolls out again. He's going to try Massey again, who goes up and catches that one and is taken down, but he makes the catch. And Sequoyah picks up the first down. Great catch by Massey after an awkward tackle, but that's going to move the change for Sequoyah, and a big 3rd and long conversion as we are under a minute to go here in the first quarter.
Sequoyah mixing it up here with a couple passing plays, and it seems to be working here so far against Johns Creek. They need to mix it up because Johns Creek has had their numbers all night here.
1st and 10 for the Chiefs. Handoff up the middle, and that one's going to be stuffed again. Sequoyah maybe picks up a yard. As right on the carry. Will Sequoyah bound and determined to open up that middle for the run game, but right now Sequoyah having a hard time dealing with the size of that Johns Creek defensive line.
That's exactly right, Chase. Johns Creek has a lot of really, really big guys that the Chiefs are going to have to open up, and that's going to be very difficult for them.
Trainer under center. Hancock motions to the far side. He'll take the pitch. He's going to try and find the edge, and he is not going to, as he is swallowed up at the line of scrimmage. So another 3rd and long coming up for the Chiefs. But that horn means the end of the first quarter. Your score here after one, the Johns Creek Gladiators 14, Sequoyah 6. Will, go ahead and take us to some sponsor reads, bud.
Absolutely, Chase. First of all, we have Pride Electric, longtime supporters and past Chiefs football alumni at Pride Electric. They are proud to remain part of the Sequoyah family of Chiefs. Next, we have All About Health in Woodstock on Highway 92, located in the Publix Plaza. Since 1998, All About Health has been providing knowledgeable service that makes a difference. From vitamins and minerals, herbs to supplements, their extensive inventory fulfills all of our health goals. Find out what separates them from the competition and stop by today. Property Masters, proudly servicing the Southeast since 1996. Property Masters' team of experts provides the broadest range of landscape services to make your home's outdoor spaces beautiful and functional. And finally, we have Ready Mix USA. Ready Mix USA is a proud sponsor of the Sequoyah Chiefs community. As a supplier of industry-leading products and solutions, satisfy the construction needs of our community. Ready Mix USA is honored to help build a better future for Cherokee County and the greater Atlanta area.
So we come out for the start of the second quarter. Tail of the first quarter is Sequoyah unable to find any answers for Johns Creek's offense, and Sequoyah having mixed success on the offensive side of the ball. They were able to run down to the other side of the field and punch in a touchdown thanks to Jackson Hancock's big kickoff return that came back into Johns Creek territory. Sequoyah was able to convert on 3rd and 9 last time. Let's see if they can do it again. Tight end motions to the far side of the field. Ball in near hash mark. Trainer under center. rolls out with the ball, looks back to the other side of the field, and is going to be wrapped up for a loss of 2 yards. So Sequoiah's offense reeling again as the punt team going to come back out onto the field.
That's exactly correct, Chase. As you just said, Sequoyah having mixed success here so far on offense. They've had a couple bright spots. Overall, though, they just really haven't been able to get a reading on this Johns Creek defense and find the holes in it and their ways around it. But that's something they'll definitely be looking to do starting this second quarter.
So 4th and 12 coming up. Sequoiah's punt team out on the field. Decent enough snap, and that kick is up and away. Going to be caught at the 36-yard line and wrapped up after a pickup of about 10 yards. It's going to be Brandon Palmer. So Johns Creek still with very good field position, but Sequoiah's defense going to have to come up with an answer for this Gladiator offense. Durham in the backfield, flanked by Johnson. 3 wide receivers on the near side of the field, 1 on the far side. Durham takes the snap and hands this one off to Johnson, who's got a lot of room up the middle, shakes off some arm tackles, and he's finally going to be brought down by Jackson Hancock after a huge gain.
That is good enough for Johns Creek first down.
So from the 43-yard line all the way down to the opposite 29 they mark him at. A big gain for Johns Creek, and they are back in Sequoyah territory. First down, snap back over to Johnson. Again, they're going to try it, and he's going to be tackled for a loss. As Sequoyah not going to be fooled on the same play twice. So a nice job there by Sequoiah's defense to wrap Johnson up in the backfield, and that'll bring up 2nd and 11. Still going tempo for the Gladiators. 4 wide receivers. Durham going to drop back, finds a man he likes over the middle, and it's out of his hands. So 3rd and 11 coming up. Here's a big opportunity for Sequoyah to get their first defensive stand of the night.
And a pattern so far tonight here, Chase, is that once Sequoyah looks like they've started to get a reading on that Johns Creek offense, Johns Creek comes up with something new that the Chiefs haven't seen, and they're able to get the first down. So as you said, this will be a very big 3rd down for the Chiefs. See if they can get a stop in the momentum here.
3rd and 11. Bunch up the wide receivers in a line. 3 on the far side of the field. Durham calls for the ball. Gets it. Hands off to Johnson. No, he fakes it. Now he's going to roll to his outside. And he's going to be tackled after a very marginal gain by Isaiah Sanders. So a great job there by Sequoyah to force a 4th and long. Johns Creek's offense going to stay out on the field, so Sequoyah going to need a supreme defensive effort here if they're going to keep Johns Creek from scoring for their 3rd straight offensive drive. Calling for the snap, dropping back is Durham. He's got some pressure. He scrambles out, and that one is caught for a first down, and Johns Creek is now in Sequoiah's red zone. So on the 4th and 12, Sequoiah's defense is unable to hold them. And Johns Creek going to get a new set of downs at the Sequoyah 18. Handoff to Johnson again. He scampers to the far side of the field, and he'll be dropped after a pickup of 6. Well, more like 5. So 2nd and 5 coming up, 9:22 left to go in the first half as Johns Creek is all over this Chiefs defense by a score of 14-6. Shotgun again, 2 wide receivers on each side. Johnson to the right. Going to hand off to Johnson, who goes up the middle and picks up enough for a first down. So a Johns Creek first down inside the Sequoyah 10. So it'll be 1st and goal from the 8 for the Gladiators. 9:03 left to go. 14-6. Johns Creek on top of Sequoyah. Under center now is Johns Creek. Durham going to hand that one off again. And a pickup of about 4 yards. So that'll bring up 2nd and goal. Looks like they got to the 5. Durham going to go under center again. 3 running backs behind him. And he hands that one off to Johnson, who just gets about 2 yards, and that'll bring up 3rd and goal. As the ball's marked on the 2-yard line. Durham under center again. Sequoyah stacking the line. Going to hand this one off. And dropped in the backfield is Johnson as Matthew Trainer came in on the safety blitz and dropped him for a loss. So that brings up 4th down, and Johns Creek's field goal unit going to trot out onto the field. So a good stop there by the Sequoyah defense thanks to a tackle for loss by Matthew Trainer. 7:30 left to go in the first half. On for the field goal attempt is Ball, and Ball sends that one through the uprights and good. As Johns Creek goes out to a 17-6 lead with 7:13 left to go in the first half.
So Chase, that was a big stop for the Chiefs there on that 3rd down, able to get the 4th down and finally force that Johns Creek offense to get off the field. A bright spot for sure, as the Chiefs would rather see 3 additional points rather than 6 or 7. So the Chiefs are starting to get a little bit better of a read, but they definitely need to work on that, especially looking into the second half.
Giving up a 1st down pass on 4th and 11 didn't help either. It would have given the Chiefs a chance to get the ball back without Johns Creek scoring any points, but they'll take 3 rather than 7 every time. So Trainer and Hancock are going to be back to receive the Johns Creek kickoff as Ball tees this one up. As he is perfect on extra points so far tonight. And just put a chip shot field goal up and through the uprights to make it 17-6, 7:13 left to go in the first half. And Ball kicks this one away. It's a lower kick than we're used to seeing, but this one's going to go to the end zone. And Sequoyah once again going to start on their own 20-yard line. So, Will, we've pretty much met our point total from last season's matchup between these two. So we see both offenses having a little success. Johns Creek offense having significantly more than Sequoyah's, but Sequoyah has proven that they are able to move the ball on this Johns Creek defense.
That's correct, and a higher point total was something that we were expecting going in, as the Chiefs offense has definitely improved a lot over the season. Obviously, we would have thought that Chiefs would have had a little bit more points, but we'll see what they do here.
Trainer takes the snap, turns around, he's going to roll out, but he's going to be chased down and has to throw that one out of bounds as he was feeling the heat from the 2 defensive linemen for Johns Creek. A great job by Gallagher and Nick Leonard to get in the backfield and force Trainer to get rid of it, and that'll bring up 2nd and 10 for Sequoyah from their own 20-yard line. Sequoyah going to have to come up with something here on 1st and 2nd down, Will. They can't keep leaving themselves in these 3rd and long situations. Trainer comes back out under center, motion to the near side of the field. Trainer hands this one off up the middle, and scrambling ahead for a 5-yard pickup is going to be Cruz Wright. So 3rd and 5 coming up for Sequoyah. That's a little bit more manageable, but you'd like to see Sequoyah get some more yards on 1st and 2nd down.
That's right, Chase. And going back to the point that you were making, with Sequoyah's wing T offense, obviously, as we say all the time, their strengths are short running plays. So if they can't get anything on the 1st and 2nd downs, and they do manage to get something on the, or if they can't get anything on the 1st and 2nd downs, and do manage to get something on the 3rd, it's not going to be enough for them because they're going to have to come up with something bigger than they usually do in order to get that 1st down.
One wide receiver on the far side. Trainer hands this one off up the middle, and a big break, and the ball is loose, and it's down on the ground, and Johns Creek says they have it. Let's see what they call, and Johns Creek does have it, and Sequoyah, on their biggest run of the night, is unable to hold on to the football, and they turn this one back over to Johns Creek.
Sequoyah just very unlucky here tonight, as you said that would have been their biggest run of the night, and I mean, it looked like he had a lot of room to go, and that would have been really good if the Chiefs could have had that, but unfortunately it just didn't go their way, and Johns Creek will come back out here on offense.
So a very short breather for the defense, and they're back out on the field. They're going to have to definitely get a stop here with 6:20 left to go in the first half if they want to keep this game within reach. Johns Creek on top of Sequoyah 17-6. Durham takes the snap. He's going to fake the handoff, and we've got a flag on the back end of that play, maybe in the area of holding on Johns Creek. So we'll see what the official call is, but as it stands now, Durham was able to pick up 5 yards as we await the call from the official. And it is holding on Johns Creek, so that'll move them back. And a break for Sequoyah here as 2nd and 5 now turns in to 1st and 20.
And let's hope this will be the break that the Chiefs need in order to get a quick stop against this Johns Creek offense and send the Sequoyah offense right back out there and try to finish what they started last drive.
That penalty pushes Johns Creek back onto their own side of the field. Durham looks to the sideline to take the call. 3 wide receivers on the near side, 1 on the far side. Snap taken, bobbles the snap a little bit. Durham going to let her rip as he's got a man streaking down the middle of the field, but it's just beyond the reach of Brandon Palmer. So Johns Creek rolling the dice and taking a chance there as Durham got the green light from the sideline to let her rip. Had a man that he liked, just overthrew him by a tiny bit, and that'll bring up 2nd and long for Johns Creek as we are under halfway gone in the second quarter. 5:57 left to go. Johns Creek still on top of Sequoyah 17-6. Snap taken, handoff up the middle, and stopped immediately is going to be Johnson. And that'll bring up 3rd and an eternity for this Gladiators offense.
Hey, Chief fans, let's get loud.
So 3rd and 22 from the 48-yard line. 3 wide receivers to the near side. Durham drops back. He's looking downfield again, trying to get a big gain. He's going to be pressured in the backfield. Pass is going to be caught, but it's going to be marked down about 8 yards short of the first down. And on the reception, looks like number 6, Jaron Green. So a big 4th down coming up for Sequoyah. Durham, and they're going to pooch kick that one as Trainer is going to watch it fall into the arms of one of the Gladiators, and Sequoyah going to start their offensive possession from the 15-yard line. So will a short offensive possession last time resulted in a fumble at the tail end of Sequoyah's longest run play from scrimmage tonight.
That's correct, and that was a nice break for the Sequoyah defense as the first drive that Johns Creek has been on that they haven't scored on. So let's see if the Chiefs can put together something here to get the score a little more in their favor.
Trailing by 11 right now. It would be 10, but a bad snap on the point after attempt keeps this one an 11-point lead for Johns Creek. 4:47 left to go in the half. Johns Creek going to get the football to start the second half. So if you're Sequoyah, a 4-minute and 47-second drive with a touchdown would be exactly what the doctor ordered to close out the first half of this Region 7 6A contest. And Trainer going to hand the ball off and rumbling ahead for maybe 1 yard is going to be Cruz right. So once again, will Sequoyah's first down woes continue as they just continue to not be able to pick up yardage on the early downs.
That's correct, and like we were saying earlier, that's not going to work for them. They're going to have to come up with something on the second down in order to give them better positioning on that third down, so they can get downfield. Usually getting downfield isn't a huge problem for them, as they can usually put together short running drives, but so far it has been a little bit tonight.
Trainer under center. Cruise right in motion. Trainer rolling out. He really doesn't have, and he's got a man open, and that one's going to be caught. And a first down for Sequoyah, and still moving his legs as he'll drag a group of Gladiators down to the 31-yard line is going to be Ashkin Hunt. So looking downfield was Matthew Trainer. And Bauman, the junior tight end, on the reception for the Chiefs. That'll move the sticks. And 3:45 left to go in the first half. Sequoyah has their longest play from scrimmage tonight. Trainer under center again, quick snap, handoff up the middle, and rolling ahead again. Looks to be Jackson Hancock, and he'll be stopped after a gain of 7 yards. Bell on the carry as he picks up 7, so second and short, and finally Sequoyah gets a good chunk play on first down, and that is exactly what the doctor ordered, as this offense seems to be finding a rhythm here with 3:15 left to go in the first half.
That's exactly. They finally seem to be getting in the game at the exact point when they need to be getting in the game.
So Bauman, the recipient of that Matthew Trainer pass to move the sticks for Sequoyah. Trainer hands this one off. No, he's flushed out of the pocket. He held on to it, and he'll be run out of bounds after picking up 4 yards and moving the sticks for the Chiefs. A little life here for the Sequoyah offense towards the end of the first half as Trainer dashes ahead for the first down. 2:54 left to go in the first half as Sequoyah looking to claw back into this one before we go into the break. First down and 10 from their own 41-yard line. Trainer under center. 2 safeties up top for Johns Creek. Motion across the near side of the field. Trainer hands it off up the middle, and another big play for Sequoyah. Hold on to the football. And Lucas picks up about 7 yards for Sequoyah. So this is the Chiefs offense that we're more accustomed to seeing, Will. Sequoyah getting 5-6 yards on that first play and setting them up for 2 short downs to get that first down.
That's exactly right. With 2.5 minutes, they're going to have to move a little quicker than they usually do in order to get a touchdown here.
Sequoyah was still all 3 of their timeouts. Trainer going to hand this one off, and wrapped up immediately is going to be Hancock. And he maybe got a yard, as Sequoyah says that'll be our first timeout. So 3rd and 2 coming up, and Sequoyah wants to talk about it for the first time this half. Your score with 2:13 left to go in the second quarter. Johns Creek on top of Sequoyah, 17-6. Will, let's throw it over to some sponsors real quick.
Absolutely. First of all, we have Pride Electric, longtime supporters and past Chiefs football alumni. At Pride Electric, they are proud to remain a part of the Sequoyah family of Chiefs. Next, we have All About Health in Woodstock Highway on Highway 92. Located in the Publix Plaza. Since 1998, All About Health has been providing knowledgeable service that makes a difference. From vitamins and minerals, herbs to supplements, their extensive inventory fills all of our health goals. Find out what separates them from the competition and stop by today. And lastly, we have Property Masters, proudly servicing the Southeast since 1996. Property Masters' team of experts provides the broadest range of landscape services to make our home's outdoor spaces beautiful and functional.
So let's see what Sequoyah draws up after the timeout. 3rd and 2 will get them to a new set of sticks, as the ball is spotted on the 49-yard line. Trainer calls out the play. Settles in under center. Motion to the near side of the field. Going to hand this one off. They're going to try the middle again, and they're going to pick it up. As Peyton Lucas, the Chiefs fullback, carries that one across the line for the first down. Sequoyah has 2 timeouts left, 2:08 left to go. Will, we talked about this coming into this drive. What would be a perfect way to close out the first half? A 4-minute, 45-second drive down the field to put some points on the board. They are not there yet, but the offense seems to finally have some signs of life being shown. Trainer going to come up to the line of scrimmage, settles in under center. 1 running back behind him, wing back in motion, that's right. He's going to fake the handoff, drop back. He's got a man in his face. He's got a scramble. Plan B for Trainer. He's calling it. He's going to be sacked No, he's still on his feet somehow, but a big loss for Sequoyah as Trainer loses about 6 yards on the play, and with 1:34 left to go, Sequoyah going to have to burn their second timeout. Will, that is not what Sequoyah needed here towards the end of the first half.
No, not at all. Trainer just wasn't able to get an open look there to a receiver downfield, and you just unfortunately got sacked for a loss of, I think you said 6.
Looks to be about 6 yards. So Sequoyah going to have to go back to the drawing board here on 2nd and long. As we might have jinxed it, Will, Sequoyah's offense was doing so well there, and Matthew Trainer takes a costly sack towards the end of the first half. Johns Creek up 17-6. They'll get the ball back to start the second half of play. Fans, want to remind you real quick as we come out of the timeout, during halftime we'll be joined by Sequoyah's Touchdown Club president Mark Lucas. We'll talk about the Touchdown Club, some things they have coming up, and we'll take a little look at some first half analysis before we go into our band performances for the halftime show. So let's see what Sequoyah draws up coming out of the timeout. 2nd and 16 it looks like. Trainer in the shotgun. A look that Sequoyah's toyed with for a while, and they're probably going to get a false start, but a big run up the middle and still going. As Hancock picks up big yardage. I am not sure how Sequoyah didn't get called for a false start on that one as the running back moved a little bit. And I think they did. I think this one's coming back. Oh, maybe not. We've got a timeout called here. Little discussion here going on by the officials. Chain gang still hasn't moved. Not sure what the discussion going on here is. Did somebody call a timeout? And that's what I thought they were going to come back with as Sequoyah moved. The running back moved before the snap. And now Sequoyah second in an eternity as they are going the wrong direction. A costly penalty and a mental error pushes the Chiefs back to a 2nd and 20. So let's see what Sequoyah comes up with here. 1.5 minutes left to go. Down 17-6. Trainer going to keep this one himself, and he is going to be met immediately at the line of scrimmage. Tried to catch the edge. It wasn't there. But on 2nd and 20, Sequoyah decides to run the ball, and they will take their last timeout of the half, I think. Johns Creek going to take a timeout as they want to try and put some more points on the board before going into the locker room. So it started off as such a promising drive for the Sequoyah Chiefs to go into halftime, has quickly turned into a very large mountain to climb here on 3rd down, thanks to an illegal shift that negated a big run that would have made it 2nd and manageable. So 1:16 left to go. Sequoyah down by 11. Wanted to put some points on the board before going into the locker room, but Will, what are they drawing up here on 3rd and 20?
That's a great question. I mean, that penalty and sack that was against Chiefs offense really put a stop into the momentum that they were just starting to have finally at the right time, but I'm not really sure exactly what they're going to go with here. They're going to need something quite big to come up with a first down, and that's not really one of the strengths of the wing T offense. Is the power plays and deep passing plays are not exactly our forte, but we're going to need to come up with something if we do want that first down.
Johns Creek called a timeout. They're looking to try and get the ball back if they can get a stop here on 3rd and forever, and a screen play does nothing as Trainer can't find Massey, and that'll bring up 4th and 20, and that'll stop the clock with an incomplete pass with 1:12 left to go. As Ryan will come out to punt this one back away to Johns Creek. Yeah, it's back to receive the punt for the Gladiators. There's Taz Smith. Good punt, and a high kick goes all the way back to the 20-yard line. Smith takes it, and he's going to try and find some room up the near side. He'll pick up about 11 on the return, and Johns Creek going to have a minute to try and make something happen here before the break.
And with Johns Creek able to run tempo like they have a few times tonight already, the Chiefs are not out of it yet. They're definitely going to need to lock down on this Johns Creek offense very quickly, because with that Johns Creek tempo, they can just take advantage of the Chiefs in the blink of an eye. So Chiefs are really going to have to step up here and put a stop to this offense.
So 1st and 10 coming out of the Sequoyah 31-yard line. Durham, 2 wide receivers on each side of him. Johnson flanking him on the left. Running back goes in motion behind the quarterback. Correction, that was the slot wide receiver. And a reverse play now going to go back to the near side of the field, and it's going to be a throw downfield, and it's going to be caught and run out of bounds after a huge game. So a little trickeration and a big pickup for Johns Creek, and that only runs about 8 seconds off the clock. So a new set of downs in Johns Creek and Sequoyah territory as the ball is spotted officially on the 36-yard line.
And Rowan Darnell able to just use his size to take that ball out of the air and just bring it in easily.
A contested catch, too. Durham finds another passer, another receiver down the sideline, and a big collision. Only runs about another 6 seconds off the clock, and that's another first down for Johns Creek. So Johns Creek looking to step on the throw to the Sequoyah Chiefs going into halftime. Johns Creek flexing their offensive muscle. Durham has a receiver on the sideline, but he overthrows the running back out of the backfield. And that'll bring up 2nd and 10 with 41 seconds left to go. Sequoyah can keep some points off the board. They're still very much in this game, but they're going to have a significantly better second half as Durham takes the snap. He'll be flushed out, and he's going to find a receiver wide open in the middle of the field, but a flag comes in late, and a big collision on the end of that play on the 10-yard line, but I think this one's going to be coming back. So we wait the word from the head official, and it is going to be against Johns Creek.
We have holding the offense.
So Sequoyah catches a big break there on a holding play as the wide receiver was all by himself in the middle of the field, and it would have moved the sticks again and been another big play for Johns Creek. Johns Creek going to have to go all the way back to the 39-yard line, it looks like, as they have to get down to the 13. 30 seconds left to go. We've seen that Johns Creek can get a lot of yards and not a lot of time. Durham going to roll to his right, looks for his running back, finds him in the backfield as he charges ahead, and a big pickup as he crosses the 30-yard line and is taken down at the 29, as we're going to get our second Johns Creek timeout of the half, it appears. So 24.6 seconds left to go in the first half. Johns Creek still on top of Sequoyah, 17-6.
That's absolutely right, and that flag that was against Johns Creek is definitely a big break for the Chiefs, as you said. But, again, the Chiefs are not out of it yet, even with only 25 seconds left. I mean, you saw that first play of the drive with Johns Creek only took 8 seconds to get more than halfway down the field. So Johns Creek really can put together big plays fast, and that is something that the Chiefs really need to be worried about and thinking about not only with his 25 seconds left, but even thinking about the end of the game.
Some scores from around the county. Creekview still all tied up at 0 with Cambridge. That report coming in from the boys over at WLJA. Creekview and Cambridge tied at 0. Sequoyah going to get a look at both of those teams. But back to the matter at hand as Johns Creek comes out of the timeout. As 3rd and long coming up, looks to be about 15. From in the backfield, takes the snap, drops back, no pressure. He's going to run forward and keep it himself. He's going to head to the sideline, and he is thrown down, and that'll bring up 4th down and about 11. As they're going to say he got to the sideline, so 16 seconds left. As Johns Creek going to go with the field goal attempt and try to go into the break up by 2 touchdowns. So a 47-yard field goal coming up for Johns Creek. Snap is good, and in the backfield is Sequoyah, but the kick is still up and good. And they got to the kicker, but they didn't get to the ball, and that's going to be a penalty on the Chiefs. And this might give Johns Creek another crack at it. Officials discussing. We'll see what the official call is, but as of right now, a 47-yard field goal is good with 11.5 seconds left to go in the first half. So discussions going on with Johns Creek's coach. Here comes our head official to give us the call.
Personal foul. Referee holder. That penalty will be declined.
So Johns Creek going to go ahead and decline the penalty and take the points.
The visiting Johns Creek Gladiators 20.
So with 11.5 seconds left to go in the first half, Johns Creek in the driver's seat in this game as they are up on the Chiefs 20-6. Will, before we come out to the kickoff, why don't you go ahead and give us a sponsor read real quick?
Absolutely, Chase. So first of all, we have Pride Electric, longtime supporters and past Chief football alumni at Pride Electric. They are proud to remain a part of the Sequoyah family of Chiefs. Next, we have All About Health, located in Woodstock Highway on Highway 92. In the Publix Plaza since 1998, All About Health has been providing knowledgeable service that makes a difference. From vitamins and minerals, herbs to supplements, their extensive inventory fulfills all of our health goals. Find out what separates them from the competition and stop by today. Next, we have Property Masters, proudly servicing the Southeast since 1996. Property Masters team of experts provides the broadest range of landscaping services to make our homes, outdoor spaces, beautiful and functional.
So what's becoming an all too familiar sight here from Skip Popp Stadium. Ball fixing to kick off to the Chiefs after another Johns Creek score. As it is 20-6 and we've got 11 seconds left to go in the first half. Johns Creek going to get the ball back, squib that kick a little bit, and ball's on the ground, and Sequoyah just going to go ahead and fall on that one. So a good idea there by Johns Creek to squib that one and keep Sequoyah from getting a big kickoff return. So 9.8 seconds left to go in the first half. Johns Creek going to get the ball to start the second half of play. Want to remind everybody that joining me for halftime will be Touchdown Club President Mark Lucas. He's going to tell us a little bit about the Touchdown Club and get some game analysis of this first half. And we'll talk to him before the band performances really kick off. But we've got 9 seconds of play left here at Sequoyah High School, as it looks like Sequoyah going to go ahead and take a knee and run the clock out as they'll go into the locker room trailing Johns Creek by 14 points. Sequoyah had so many opportunities on that last drive to get towards the end zone and put some points on the board before the half, but that illegal shift really killed that drive, Will.
That's right. They just weren't able to connect all the dots and put everything all together. They were looking good for a bit there, but that sack and penalty really put a stop to their momentum, and they just weren't able to get it going after that.
They don't call him the best color analyst in Georgia high school football for no reason, folks. Will, thank you so much for joining us for the first half. We'll say goodbye to you for now and see you on the second half of this game. And right now we're going to bring in Touchdown Club President Mark Lucas. Mark, how about the first half of that game?
It's a little disappointing, but we're resilient at Sequoyah. So we had this situation in the Cherokee game and also in the Cass game. And as you know, our players are tough, and it's not a problem. I expect a good second half from us. I'm a little biased to number 6 myself. That's my son. So I'm not worried about it. We'll be fine.
So, Mr. Lucas, Touchdown Club President, what's some of the things that the Touchdown Club does for a football program?
Well, we're an up-and-coming program here. We have new facilities here in Cherokee County, new scoreboard. We have a new nutrition program for our players. All About Health is a great sponsor for us, and Icebox cryotherapy for our injuries. So we're an up-and-coming program. We're building a great program here. We have a young team. We only have 16 seniors, but we have a young program, and we look to the future of Sequoyah football.
So, Mr. Lucas, you know, one of the things that we saw in the first half of this contest is it looked like Sequoyah kind of stumbled out of the gate, really getting that offense going. They're really trying hard to get the ball running up the middle. Do you think that's something that's going to open up later in the game as they keep testing that Johns Creek interior D-line?
Exactly. I think we're very talented up front. We're very young, only 2 seniors on the line. We will wear them down eventually. Number 6, 2, 7, 17, Cruz Wright, Jackson Hancock, Peyton Lucas, they'll eventually come loose, and we'll be fine.
You know, one of the other things that we saw in the first half was Johns Creek not having a lot of issues moving the ball early on, but it looked like Sequoyah's defense kind of keyed in on them a little bit. If they can just stop those big chunk plays, do you think the Sequoyah defense can tighten up and pull that offense back into the game?
Yes, absolutely. Again, we had this problem in Cass. Our defense just had to make the necessary adjustments. Once we get 1 or 2 stops, this game is going to be a lot closer, and I hope Sequoyah can pull it out. I think we will be fine.
You know, you mentioned the team has a lot of mental toughness. You know, we saw that a lot last year. Sequoyah did not get off to the start of the season that they wanted. They dropped their first 5, but down the stretch they went. You know, they won 4 of their last 5 games, particularly region ones, and came really, really close to getting a playoff spot. Some would even argue that they should have. But it looks like that team has carried that mental toughness and resiliency into this year, considering all the things that happened. You know, we all know how the Cherokee game finished. They've been down before, particularly last year, and they always seem to come back into most of these games. So what is it about this team, and what is it that this coaching staff preaches that keeps these kids in the right mindset to say, hey, we're not out of this one?
Well, coming into this year, we struggled early last year, and we came on later in the year, and we built that into the program, which we carried over to this year. The mental toughness. Do not get down when you're down. I think our kids have reacted to that very well, and we're going to be fine this year. You know, we might lose 1 or 2 games, but we will guarantee make the playoffs, and we'll be a force to be reckoned with in the playoffs.
So, from a Touchdown Club perspective, what's some of the new things that you can tell us about that fans can expect coming out of the Sequoyah program?
Well, we have our new Jumbotron. Of course, you guys see that. It's wonderful. We're the last county school to get one. We have our new field. We're getting a new locker room situation, weight room situation next year. We have a few new uniforms and weight program. We're looking forward to our new weight program.
So, Mark, one more thing before I let you go. How do you think the Chiefs are going to end up this year? You think we're going to be? Think we might sneak in a home game in the playoffs? You think we're going to be a 3 seed, a 4 seed? What's your prediction for how this season turns out?
As you know, I'm Sequoiah's true and true.
So state champions.
Hey, I see you in the Georgia Dome or Georgia State Stadium, but I don't think anybody can beat us. If they can, they're a better team than us. Or I really don't think anybody can beat us. I'm looking forward to a great year. That's not sugarcoating it. I think we'll be fine. We have a few injuries here and there. This break next week, the bye week, will get us healed, and we'll be fine. We'll be fine.
So I lied. One last question before we go into the break. One of the things that we've really that has really become noticeable for the Sequoyah Chiefs offense. When you think of a wing T offense, you think of this slow, lethargic, methodical drive down the field. But it looks like with the athleticism that Sequoyah has, particularly from some of the underclassmen and some of the experienced players, Sequoyah has added a whole new element to where they can actually spread it out and strike hard and strike fast and get some big chunk plays. How have you noticed Sequoyah doing that with their big strike ability?
Yes, I've noticed that, and as you know, we've been wing T for many, many years here. It's been the norm here at Sequoyah. But Coach Teeter has implemented a new type of offense. Jackson Hancock, Jack Pye scores, and Peyton Lucas, and we've implemented Power I, which most people don't see in high school sports. That's more of a college or NFL formation, and I think that's gonna work for us later on in the playoffs when we wear down some of these other teams and score.
Well, Mark, thank you so much for joining us, and hopefully we get a better second half here, and the Chiefs will pull off a win.
Hey, just want to give a shout out to Dylan Lucas and Carlene Scott and my son Peyton. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Well, fans, we're going to leave it at that. We'll let you enjoy the band show here. I'm going to go ahead and cut my mic off, and we'll see you on the other side of the first half. Your score here from Skip Popp Memorial Stadium, the Johns Creek Gladiators 20, the Sequoyah Chiefs 6.
Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of Principal Mr. Robert Van Alstein and Athletic Director Mr. Peter Voida, Sequoyah High School proudly presents the award-winning Sequoyah High School Marching Band of Chiefs. The Band of Chiefs is under the direction of the Director of Bands, Mr. Casey Eubanks. Additional band instructors include Brian Palat, Dennis Naughton, Daniel Krasner, Bailey Waddell, Ryan Wooster, and Scott Jones. The student band leadership includes Ashlyn Bulduck, Malcolm Smith, Xander Riddle, Caitlin O'Connor, Brooke Helmley, Mitchell Perales, George Shamala, Bethany Hageman, and Ella Yarashik. The percussion captains are Tyler Smith and Zador John Charles. The color guard captains are Emma Johnson, Elena Dover, and Alex Lemens. The band captain is Gavin Payne. Tonight's show is entitled The Climb and features original music by Mr. Frank Sullivan. Tonight's show is under the field direction of drum majors Riley Hartman, Kaylin Payne, and Jacob Black. Drum majors, is your band ready to take the field in halftime performance? You may now take the field. The Band of Chiefs is proud to announce that the Sequoyah High School Winter Guard were the class champions at the Southeastern Association for Performing Arts Championships in 2021. The Sequoyah High School Symphony Band has been selected to perform at the 2022 One more round of applause for the Sequoyah High School Marching Band of Chiefs.
And welcome back to Skip Popp Stadium here at Sequoyah High School in Canton, Georgia. I am Chase Shaffer, and joining me is my esteemed colleague and analyst, Will Hoogendyk. Will, we got to see a pretty interesting first half here, but it seems that it's been all Johns Creek as they are currently on top of Sequoyah 20-6.
That's right, Chase. Well, the Chiefs do have 6 points. They were plagued really on both sides of the ball. Defensively, they were just not able to stop the Johns Creek offense quick enough, and Johns Creek was able to just use tempo and just run it all over them. There was only one drive that Johns Creek had in the first half that they were not able to score on, so that really was not helpful for the Chiefs.
Will, but it did seem like as we got later on in the first half that the Sequoyah Chiefs defense was doing a better job of coming up with some stops towards the end of the half. You know, Johns Creek scored. Their first 2 scores were touchdowns, and since then they've had to settle for a few field goals, particularly the one that led us into halftime. Sequoyah's offense seemed to find a rhythm towards the end of the first half with that drive down to the other side of the field, but ultimately it fell apart after a very costly illegal shift penalty. So we'll see Sequoyah come out here and try to get a stop early on in the second half to get back into this Region 7 6A opener.
That's correct, Chase. They did have a little bit of success there with those runs up the middle, which they did not at the beginning of the game, but they were able to have some success on those first downs. I think Peyton Lucas had a couple runs there. And then, yeah, that sack on Trainer and then the penalty following that really just put a stop in their momentum and brought them back farther than they could manage, and they weren't able to manage that, and Johns Creek was able to use time very efficiently and end up with a field goal to end the half.
Will, another thing that's pretty noticeable is there's a pretty hefty size gap in the trenches for both of these teams. That defensive line for Johns Creek is really big. One of the things that the wing T is supposed to do is to kind of help mitigate that, but it seems like this Johns Creek defensive front is very athletic and very large, and they're kind of having their way on the front end of the ball with the Sequoyah Chiefs offense. That's
correct, Chase. Chiefs are having a very, very tough job getting past that Johns Creek size. I mean, you look at Tyler Gibson, 6'5", 270, and then Alex Cunningham, 6'6". I mean, these are just very, very big physical guys that they're having to get past, and it's hard for them to do that, and that's why they haven't had as much success with those runs up the middle as they would have liked to tonight.
And as we come out for the second half, Johns Creek won the kickoff, so they elected to defer. So they will get the ball back, and Sequoyah going to have to come up with a way to stop them, as back to receive the kickoff for Johns Creek is Thompson and Williams. As Ryan gets ready to hit the send button on this football and get us underway here for the second half of action in this Region 7 6A opener between the Sequoyah Chiefs and the Johns Creek Gladiators. Notable score from around the league. Cherokee hanging in there with Cartersville, trailing 17-14. As this is a low kick, it's going to bounce off the turf and going to be taken at the 5-yard line by Williams. Williams trying to get to the outside. He does, and a flag's going to bring that one back. I think one of the Johns Creek blockers hooked one of the Chiefs players. So this one's going to come back, and Johns Creek will probably have their worst starting field position of the night. Another score from around the county and, more importantly, the region. Cambridge and Creekview locked in a dead heat at 0-0. Sequoyah going to see Creekview very, very soon, and we should anticipate another excellent game between Sequoyah and Cambridge.
That's exactly correct, Chase. Looking at the schedule, Creekview and Cambridge are actually the next two matchups that the Chiefs have. Creekview being on October 1st and then Cambridge a week later on the 8th. Unfortunately, neither of those home, so we will not be commentating those for you on Chiefs TV, but there will still be a broadcast, so you can tune in if you would like.
That Creekview game will be the WLJA game of the week, so you'll hear Dave Gardner, Will Cooper, and Art Mosley as the first handoff of the second half goes for a very short gain. Maybe got one on the play. So that'll bring up 2nd and 10 as they're going to spot him at the original line of scrimmage. Woodstock getting worked by Calhoun 49-9 as River Ridge is beating up on Chattahoochee 30-0. In the shotgun, Durham going to take this one himself, and he has got a ton of space along the sideline, and he will run out of bounds after picking up a first down. So Sequoyah loses containment on the quarterback, and that will move the sticks for the Johns Creek Gladiators on a big run by Durham. So Kyle Durham, the senior quarterback for Johns Creek, getting it done with the legs.
And we're seeing some similarities there between Durham and Trainer, that when they're not able to find an open receiver, they're able to think quick on their feet and get it done themselves.
5 wide receivers, Durham all alone in the backfield. Slot receiver comes in motion, and he's going to hand it off to him now. Got a lot of room up the sideline, and it's going to be a track meet, and Hancock going to win that one as he's able to bring down Thompson from behind. But the damage is done, and Johns Creek is once again on Sequoyah's side of the field. Not even a minute gone in the third quarter of this game. And Johns Creek already coming out of the locker room firing on all cylinders. Empty backfield once again. Durham takes the snap, drops back, fires the sideline. That one's tipped. It's up in the air. Is it caught by Sequoyah? Let's see what they call it. And it is interception. So a fantastic job there.
Speaking of thinking quick on your feet, number 26, Carter Sandt, able to come up with that one. What a catch.
So another interception for this Sequoyah secondary, and it could not have come at a more opportune moment as Sequoyah stymies the momentum of Johns Creek coming out of the first half, coming out of the locker room.
And Chase, that will absolutely be a momentum shift for this Chiefs. Now let's see what the offense can pull out of the bag here.
This was right about where we saw that drive stall out at the end of the first half that resulted in Johns Creek driving down the field for 3 points. Trainer in the shotgun. Hancock motions. Trainer going to keep it himself, runs up the middle, bounces to the outside. Trainer's got a lot of daylight, one defender to beat, and he is going to be dragged down at about the 12-yard line. They'll spot him at the 13. So Matthew Trainer getting it done with his legs as well on a great quarterback keeper as he read the defense perfectly, found some room up the middle and bounced to the outside, and Sequoyah deep in Johns Creek territory and inside the red zone on the 13-yard line. Got to get to the 3 to get a new set of downs. One wide receiver to the far side of the field. Trainer settles in under center. Hands this one off up the middle and maybe picked up about 4 yards. As Wright is the ball carrier, that'll bring up 2nd and 7. So Trainer under center once again. Hands this one off to Hancock. Hancock tries to get to the outside. And once again, that's solid defensive front for Johns Creek. Stops Jackson Hancock. Wright and Massey coming back into the game. So 3rd and 6 coming up for the Chiefs. 9:38 left to go in the third quarter. Sequoyah trailing by 14. Johns Creek 20, Chiefs 6. One wide receiver out on the far side, on the near side, ball on the far hash mark. Got to get to the 3. Faking the handoff as Trainer. He's got a man in his face. That one's going to be caught. And Wright unable to get enough. Maybe got a yard. So Sequoyah draws up a play, but it doesn't get him anywhere close to the sticks, and we've got a 4th down coming up. Got to think Sequoyah going to go for it here. Sequoyah trying to get some points off the Carter Sandt interception. Be a big stop for Johns Creek if they could get the ball back without giving up any points. 4th down coming up. Massey on the far side of the field. Trainer under center. Johns Creek stacking the box. Motion to the far side of the field. Trainer takes it himself. He's headed to the side. Let's see if he can get there to the end zone, to the pylon. Touchdown, Matthew Trainer. And a late flag comes in after the play. Waiting on the official word, but as it stands right now, Matthew Trainer runs that one in on a 4th down conversion for a touchdown. Head official coming over to talk to Coach Teeter. As we go down to the field for the official word from our head referee. So that's the 2nd unsportsmanlike conduct penalty on Johns Creek. So Sequoyah going to go ahead and go for the extra point with 8:30 left to go. Sequoyah with a chance to pull to within a touchdown. Last time a bad snap resulted in not getting any points. Another high snap, and that one's going to be blocked. So Sequoyah just cannot get out of their own way on special teams as Daniel Cruz has that one blocked, and now Sequoyah down by 8. Will Sequoyah just can't figure it out on special teams.
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure what happened there. I mean, obviously, they should be very happy with the touchdown, but still down by 8. They're going to have to come up with more than a touchdown to even tie. Let's hope they can get another quick defensive stop on Johns Creek here.
So the interception by Carter Sandt, Sequoyah is able to convert into 6 points. But they still trail by 8 after the blocked extra point. So Sequoyah 0 for 2 on point after tries. With 8:30 left to go in the third quarter, your score, Johns Creek 20, Sequoyah 12. As we get ready to kick this one back off to the Gladiators. So Sequoyah, after the unsportsmanlike conduct penalty, going to kick from the opposite side of midfield. Got to think that means touchback for Johns Creek. So a big stop there by Sequoiah's defense. And Matthew Trainer basically able to out-athlete everybody to the pylon. And get this back to within a one-score game. Ryan squares up on this one to kick it away. Thompson and Williams back for the Gladiators. And a deep kick going to go into the end zone, so another touchback.
Kick by the Chiefs flies out in the back end zone.
So not the start to the second half that Johns Creek wanted, giving up a turnover and then unable to hold the Chiefs on fourth down as Sequoyah finds the end zone. And Sequoyah feeling a little momentum. And a penalty on the play. Sequoyah going to have to re-kick this one. The officials might cut out, and I didn't catch the hand signal. So with 8 minutes and 30 seconds left, Sequoyah going to have to try that one again, and now they'll be backed up to the 50-yard line. So Ryan going to take another crack at it. He kicked that one well out of the back of the end zone on the first try from the 45, so they'll back it up 5 yards, and he'll get another chance from midfield. Another high kick, and that one will go just as deep into the end zone. So after 2 touchback kicks, Johns Creek going to start back over on the 20-yard line.
Johns Creek take over at the 20.
Will Johns Creek's offense seemed to be moving the ball pretty well until a tipped pass was intercepted by Carter Sandt, and Sequoiah's right back in this one.
That's correct, and Johns Creek, like Sequoyah, not having to worry about starting field position because they can get the ball down the field quickly, and that's exactly what we saw in that first drive before Carter Sandt was able to get that interception for the Chiefs.
3 wide receivers to the far side, Johnson to the left of Durham, 1 wide receiver to the near side, ball on the 20. Single high safety for the Chiefs. Durham going to flip this one over down to the flat, and a track meet down the sideline, and pushed out of bounds will be Johns Creek, so second and short coming up. After the reception by Palmer. Durham in the shotgun again. Takes the snap, looks to his near side. Now he's going to take off and run for it, and he'll get it as he scampers out of bounds, and that'll bring up a new set of downs for Johns Creek. So a new first down from the Sequoyah 32-yard line, it would appear. Shotgun formation, motion across the near side, going to hand off to Johnson. Johnson going to try to get to the far side of the field, and a big tackle for loss as he's going to be dragged down. And Carter Sandt adding a tackle for loss to his resume this evening. So a 4-yard loss will make this one second and long for Johns Creek. As Sequoyah appears to be dialing in on the running back run game, still having a hard time containing Durham when he takes off, motion across the near side of the field. They're going to try handing it off again. No, he's going to keep it, and Durham going to be chased down from behind and maybe got a yard or 2 on the play. But Isaiah Sanders, another defensive player who's having a big night. Johns Creek still a yard shy of the line of scrimmage, so it looks like that Sequoyah defense, Will, has made some adjustments in halftime.
That's exactly correct. They seem to be reading the Johns Creek offense a lot quicker and much, much better than they were in the first half, and being able to stop those offensive plays a lot quicker.
3rd and 11, big down for Sequoyah if they can get off the field. Pitches this one out to the flat, going to be wrapped up and diving ahead, but he's going to be way short of the line to gain, and that'll bring up 4th and 5 as Johnson caught that one in the backfield. And for the first time tonight, we see Johns Creek's punt unit out on the field. They punted earlier in the game, but it was more of a pooch kick. So Trainer back to receive this one for the Chiefs. 6 minutes and 30 seconds left to go. Johns Creek still leading Sequoyah 20-12. Good snap. This kick is up and away. It's a high kick. Trainer going to settle in under it, and he drops the ball, and it's down on the turf. Who got it? And Sequoyah able to avoid disaster as Trainer misjudged the ball, but he was able to fall on the muffed punt. And Sequoyah with decent field position will start at the 35-yard line. Momentum has shifted here. Sequoyah with an interception. They're able to turn that one into a touchdown, and then they come right back out and stifle the Johns Creek offense drive, and they get the ball back at their own 35-yard line.
That's exactly right. They have been reading this Johns Creek offense so much better than they were in the first half, not letting them score in either of their first 2 possessions so far. And as you said, with that touchdown on their first offensive possession, they'll be definitely looking to do that again and to get within 1 here of Johns Creek.
1st and 10 from the 35-yard line. 6:12 left to go in the 3rd quarter. Trainer in the gun. Bell motions, and he puts the ball on the turf. He falls on top of it, and it's still free, and Sequoyah turns the ball over on a mishandled handoff between Trainer and Bell. And Sequoyah, once again, can't get out of their own way. So Sequoyah immediately turns the football back over, and we'll see that Johns Creek offense come back. And they are in prime field position to get that touchdown back. Durham in the shotgun. Hands this one off to Johnson, who breaks free up the middle, and he breaks an arm tackle, and he's going to go all the way to the end zone. And a one-play strike puts Johns Creek back up by 2 touchdowns. So a costly Sequoyah turnover, and Johns Creek gets that touchdown right back.
Well, Chase, we were just talking about momentum shift, and it seems that the momentum has shifted yet again.
Sure did, Will. So 5:58 left to go in the 3rd quarter, and Johns Creek jumps back out. To a 2-score lead. Extra point attempt coming up. Good snap. Kick is up and through the uprights. So at 5:58 left to go in the 3rd quarter, Johns Creek goes up 27-12 on the Sequoyah Chiefs. So let's go ahead and throw it over to a sponsor read, Will.
Absolutely, Chase. We'll start off with Ready Mix USA this time. Ready Mix USA is a proud sponsor of the Sequoyah Chiefs community. As a supplier of industry-leading products and solutions that satisfy the construction needs of our community, Ready Mix USA is honored to help build a better future for Cherokee County and the greater Atlanta area. Next, we have Pride Electric, longtime supporters and past Chiefs football alumni at Pride Electric. They are proud to remain a part of the Sequoyah family of Chiefs. Next, we have All About Health in Woodstock on Highway 92, located in the Publix Plaza. Since 1998, All About Health has been providing knowledgeable service that makes a difference. From vitamins and minerals, herbs to supplements, their extensive inventory fills all of our health goals. Find out what separates them from the competition and stop by today. And finally, we have Property Masters, proudly servicing the Southeast since 1996. Property Masters team of experts provides the broadest range of landscape services to make our homes' outdoor spaces beautiful and functional.
So after a disastrous turnover that is converted into a Johns Creek touchdown, Ball kicks this one away. Trainer and Hancock back to receive a high kick. Here comes Hancock. He takes it at the 10, and he's going to go up the near side of the field and runs right into the waiting arms of 2 Johns Creek tacklers.
Kick return to the 25. By number 2, Jackson Hancock.
As for Cucci
Chiefs will start from there.
and Chung on the stop for Johns Creek. Sequoyah going to get the ball back at the 26-yard line. 5:52 left to go in the third. Johns Creek 27, Sequoyah 12. Trainer under center, hands this one off up the middle once again, and Sequoyah going to go back to testing the middle. They maybe get 3 yards on that one, and that'll bring up 2nd and 7 for the Chiefs.
Bring up second down for the Chiefs.
Will, we saw a similar situation at the end of the third quarter in the Cherokee game. Can Sequoyah muster another comeback? As Trainer gets under center, tight end motion across. Now they're set. And another keeper by Matthew Trainer as he's going to be taken down right at about the line to gain.
Keeper by number 11, Matthew Trainer.
So a good decision there by Trainer.
That's good enough to move the chains.
So first down Sequoyah, 5:05 left to go in the third.
That's an all-about-health first down.
Ball on the 36-yard line. Trainer under center. Hands this one off. Sequoyah going to try the middle again. And they pick up another 3 yards. So 2nd and 7 again coming up for Sequoyah. Will, that popcorn smell pretty strong right where we're at. So 2nd and 7. And jumping off sides is going to be Johns Creek. As Johns Creek going to get caught trying to figure out Sequoyah's cadence. And they'll walk this one up 5 yards. So 2nd and 7 going to turn into 2nd and 8 going to turn into 2nd and 3 for the Chiefs. Got to get to the 47-yard line. Ball on the 44. Trainer under center again. Motion to the near side. Handoff up the middle once again. And Sequoyah going to pick up a first down as the ball is going to be spotted at midfield. So Peyton Lucas on the carry. With 3:58 left to go in the third quarter, Sequoyah not out of this one yet, trailing by 15. It's going to take a solid effort to get back into this one. One wide receiver to the near side, ball on the far side hash right on the logo. Handoff up the middle once again, and a pretty good chunk. Or at least it looked like a pretty good chunk. Johns Creek going to get a pretty generous spot. And a pickup of 3 makes it 2nd and 7 again. And Sequoyah operating on Johns Creek's side of the field again. Clock continues to run. 3 minutes and 12 seconds left to go in the third. Moore's going to come to the near side of the field. Wing back in motion. Trainer going to keep it himself again. He's going to try and find an edge, and he gets a little running room and going to be tackled just short of the line to gain.
Bring up a third short.
So 3rd and 1 coming up for Sequoyah. As we're now creeping up on 2.5 minutes left to go in the third. Sequoyah putting together a pretty nice drive. So third and a trip and fall forward. Sequoyah going to hand the ball off and bounce this one to the outside, and they will pick up the first down by quite a bit. So Lucas on the carry. First down, ball will be spotted at the 37-yard line. As Sequoyah's offense starting to settle in and play their game. Handoff taken and ridden down after a gain of 1 is going to be Cruz right.
And Chase, this drive has been very positive for the Chiefs so far. It's looked a lot more like those vintage Chiefs that we know, wing T running the clock quite down, just putting together those short running plays, doing a lot of what they couldn't do in that first half. And so far it's working out pretty great for them in this second half.
And they've bled a lot of clock. 1:35 left to go in the third quarter, still trailing by 15 points, 27-12, Johns Creek. Trainer going to roll out of the pocket on this one, and he's in trouble as he throws this one away. And that one will go to the sideline and be incomplete, so not where Sequoyah wants to be. Third and long coming up. After the Matthew Trainer incompletion. A 1:22 left to go in the third. And they're gonna, I guess there was a flag on the field. They're gonna pick it up and say no penalty. So 3rd and 9 coming up for the Chiefs. Ball on the near hash mark. It's on the 36. They got to get down to the 27. One wide receiver to the far side. Trainer under center. Right, motions across. Trainer backs out, looks to the sideline for the call. 1:22, play clock down to 10. Motion back to cross the other side. Nobody's there to take the handoff, and Trainer going to have to run this one himself and doesn't even get close to enough for the first down. A little miscommunication there as it looked like the wingback didn't know who was supposed to get the ball. So 4th down, last time we saw a Chiefs 4th down, Matthew Trainer was able to convert it into a touchdown for the Chiefs. As we're under a minute to go here in the third quarter. Johns Creek 27, Sequoyah 12. Shotgun formation for the Chiefs. Tight on the right side. And Sequoyah, too much time getting to the line of scrimmages. That's a delay of game penalty. And boy, when it rains, it pours for these Chiefs, Will.
Yeah, it does. And Chiefs are putting their 2-for-2 4th down conversion streak in jeopardy now with that penalty. I thought it'll put them about 12 yards short of the first down.
33 seconds left. Trainer in the shotgun once again. Takes the snap. It's a little high. He's got a man in his face. A nice screen over there to Lucas, who's going to bounce to the outside. He's going to convert on the first down, and then some. He's got grass in front of him. Down to the 1-yard line and touchdown, Peyton Lucas. So Sequoyah converts on another 4th down with a touchdown, and Sequoyah draws it back to within single digits. What an excellent play there by Matthew Trainer to link up with Peyton Lucas. And once Lucas got the ball in his hands, it was all he needed to find some real estate and get free and put this one in the end zone right next to Hickory Road. So Sequoyah keeping the offense on the field. They're going to go for 2. They're 0 for 2 on extra points tonight, so it makes sense that they're going to go for it. Trainer in the shotgun, motion across the near side, handoff up the middle. No, Trainer going to keep it himself, and he dances into the end zone. Touchdown, Sequoyah. Correction, 2-point conversion, Sequoyah. getting a little ahead of ourselves, but Matthew Trainer does it again as he waltzes into the end zone, and Sequoyah back to within 7.
Well, Chase, if the Chiefs were in jeopardy, they just got the daily double there because they came up with exactly what they needed to there. They are within 7. It is a brand new ball game, folks.
So if Sequoyah can come up and get another stop, 20 seconds left to go in the third, and Sequoyah reels Johns Creek back into within a touchdown. One of the things Mark Lucas talked about in the halftime interview was the resilience of this Sequoyah Chiefs team, and here they are reeling another opponent back in. We saw them do it in the Cherokee game. Can Sequoyah come up with it once again and put themselves in a good position to win a game?
And Chase, that is the question indeed, as the question for the Chiefs all night has been their defense. Defense has been definitely weaker than the offense so far, so the Chiefs are really, really going to need to count on their defense to come up with a quick stop here and give the ball back to their offense so the offense can get things moving.
The last few drives, Sequoyah had been a bend but don't break offense, but that one-play touchdown strike by Johns Creek has made it 27-20. A high kick. This one's going to be taken at about the 6-yard line. Coming up the middle of the field, now going to look to the inside, and a big run coming up, and there it goes. Track meet all the way to the end zone, and special teams fails the Chiefs once again. As taking this one all the way back to the house is Josh Thompson. The band hadn't even finished playing the fight song, and Sequoyah's back down 2 touchdowns again. Not so fast, my friends. We have a zebra convention here at about midfield. There's some laundry on the field. Let's see what the call is.
With a flag on the play.
Sequoyah fans eagerly awaiting the results of this convention to be brought to light. So the penalty was on Sequoyah, so we're back down 2 touchdowns again. So in for the extra point is Ball. After a huge kickoff return by Thompson. And the extra point is up and good, and that'll make it 34-20 for Johns Creek.
Well, Chase, just when the Chiefs think they're back in it, Johns Creek says, "Oh, no, you're not." And that was a pretty quick turn of events right there. From down 7 to down 14, just when the Chiefs were starting to show the sparks of offense that they needed just to get back in this game, they're going to have to dig even deeper to get within 7 once again.
So 8.4 seconds left to go in the third quarter. And Johns Creek wasted no time in scoring again. After Josh Thompson returned the kick right down Sequoyah's throat. Nobody was in the middle of the field. And Thompson ran it all the way back for a touchdown. I'm pretty sure he never even got touched.
I don't think he did either. Once he got to the Chiefs logo, I mean, it was just free real estate from that point on.
And the special teams woes continue for the Chiefs.
But keep in mind, Chase, we're only in the third quarter. We still have 12 minutes left to play. However, the Chiefs, with their wing tee offense, will need to pick up the pace a little bit if they are going to want to get back in this.
Special teams is going to have to answer the bell at least once during this game. 2 missed extra points, an almost muffed punt, a kickoff return for a touchdown. As this one is kicked off, taken at the 20 by Trainer. Trainer runs this one up the middle, and he'll be tackled at the 41-yard line, and Sequoyah has pretty decent field position themselves.
The 41-yard line. That's where the Chiefs will take over. There is a Barrett G. Chapman here. You have dropped your debit card. Barrett G. Chapman. It will be at the concession stand. Barrett G. Chapman.
So, Will, what a roller coaster this game's been. It always looks like Sequoyah is about to reel them back in. And then Johns Creek comes right back out with a counter of their own. We'll see if Sequoyah can score again. This will be the last play of the third quarter with 4 seconds left. 1st and 10, ball on the 42-yard line. Trainer in the shotgun. Motion to the near side of the field. And a flag. And another delay of game penalty on the Chiefs. Will make this 1st and 15.
And Chase, it's not that just the special teams that aren't helping the Chiefs out. It's honestly the Chiefs on offense, too. They've been beating themselves up with the penalties they've been getting tonight.
So 1st and 15, 3 seconds left, high snap, and this one's going to be handed off to Hancock, and Hancock going to be pulled down after a gain of about 2. So that'll do it for 3 quarters of play here from Skip Popp Stadium, where your score is Johns Creek 34, Sequoyah 20. So, Will, let's go ahead and kick it over some ad reads one more time.
Absolutely, Chase. First and foremost, we have Pride Electric. Longtime supporters and past Chiefs alumni at Pride Electric. They are proud to remain part of the Sequoyah family of Chiefs. Next, we have All About Health in Woodstock on Highway 92, located in the Publix Plaza. Since 1998, All About Health has been providing knowledgeable service that makes a difference. From vitamins and minerals, herbs to supplements, their extensive inventory fulfills all of our health goals. Find out what separates them from the competition and stop by today. Next, we have Property Masters, proudly servicing the Southeast since 1996. Property Masters' team of experts provides the broadest range of landscape services to make our homes' outdoor spaces beautiful and functional. And finally, we have Ready Mix USA. Ready Mix USA is a proud sponsor of the Sequoyah Chiefs community. As a supplier of industry-leading products and solutions to satisfy the construction needs of our community, Ready Mix USA is honored to help build a better future for Cherokee County and the greater Atlanta area.
Want to thank everybody watching here on ChiefsTV.org. Hope you're enjoying this presentation of Sequoyah Chiefs football. Sequoyah in a little bit of a pickle right now, starting the 4th quarter down 2 touchdowns, but it is not a situation that they haven't been in already this year. As 2 games ago, they were in this exact situation against Cherokee. They were able to come back and make it a 1-point game. High snap, handoff to Lucas, who finds some room up the middle, takes a big hit. He's still churning his legs forward, and he will be taken down after a big pickup. So 2nd and 13 is going to bring up 3rd and 5 after an 8-yard run by Peyton Lucas. Will, if Sequoyah is going to get back into this one, they have to play mistake-free football for the rest of the game.
That's correct, Chase. And they're also going to have to pick up the pace a little bit. That wing tee, bleed the clock out strategy is not going to work for them as well.
Low snap, Trainer keeps it and loses a yard. So 4th and long coming up for the Chiefs. Under center, handoff. Trainer going to roll out. He's going to shake off an arm tackle, and he's going to be a yard short, and Johns Creek's going to take over on downs. So 10:34 left to go. Johns Creek takes over. They'll start on the 49-yard line with 10:34 left to go in the game. So Sequoyah going to have to call on this defense to have an out-of-body experience and mitigate the damage here as a wide receiver comes in motion out of the slot, handoff to Johnson, and Johnson gashes the Sequoyah Chiefs defense on the first play for a gain of 8. So 2nd and 2 coming up for Johns Creek. Once again, slot man in motion. Another handoff to Johnson, and Johnson's got daylight. And another big gash play for Johns Creek will move the chains.
Run up the middle brings up a first down for the Gladiators.
So 1st and 10 from the Sequoyah red zone, ball on the 18-yard line. Johns Creek staying in hurry up, pretty true to their game so far tonight, as Johnson stood up after a short gain, maybe got a yard on the play. So that'll bring up 2nd and 9. But precious moments ticking away on the clock with 9:38 left to go in the game. And the snap taken, rolling out is Durham. He's chased down, and he throws that one out of bounds. And Coach Teeter looking for an intentional grounding flag, and right for him to do so. I did not see a wide receiver in the area. There it is as the flag comes out on the field. That'll be intentional grounding on Durham, as he just tossed that one to the sideline. And nobody was there for him. So a big 3rd down coming up for the Chiefs. That intentional grounding call going to make it a little easier for him, Will.
Yeah, most definitely. The Chiefs will get quite a big break there, actually, that will put the Johns Creek back about 15, 20 yards from the first down. However, Johns Creek is able to put together big plays quickly, so that's something that the Chiefs need to be looking out for here.
Johns Creek up 34-20. Shotgun still for Durham. And we've got a whistle here, as it looks like Sequoyah wants to take a minute to talk about it. So we want to remind fans that Sequoyah's next two games will be on the road. October 1st, Sequoyah will make the trip to Creekview. And then on October 8th, Sequoyah will play Cambridge. So it looks like 3 of their hardest region games right off the bat as the first 3 region contests on their schedule. After that, a pretty lengthy homestand as they will welcome Chattahoochee, River Ridge, and Riverwood. And then they'll finish up their season on November 5th at Centennial. So 3rd and eternity coming up for Johns Creek. The official word is 3rd and 25 after the intentional grounding penalty. 9 minutes and 14 seconds left to go in the ball game. A score by Johns Creek on this drive could effectively put this game to rest. Let's see what they do. Slot man in motion once again, and Sequoyah jumps off sides. Another self-inflicted mistake as the nose jumped a little bit too early. It's still 3rd and 20. So it may not be that devastating. Snap taken. Durham drops back. A little pressure. He's got to move around in the pocket. Deep throw, and that one is going to fall harmlessly to the turf, as that was well covered by Sequoyah's secondary. Coverage on the play provided by Jackson Hancock, as he was stride for stride with Brandon Palmer down the length of the field. 4th and long coming up. Punt team out on the field, so a great job there by Sequoyah's defense to force an intentional grounding penalty and see if they can make something happen here with 9 minutes and 6 seconds left to go in the ball game. Clean snap, runs up, kicks that one. It's a high short kick, and that one is going to be taken by Sequoyah right at about the 7-yard line. So a big hill to climb for Sequoyah, Will, but we know this team can drive down the field and score. Let's see if they can do it during crunch time.
Most definitely, Chase, and that will be their main goal here, will be crunch time, because they only have 9 minutes on the clock, and while that seems like a lot for the Sequoyah offense, they bleed the clock down, and they're still down by 2 touchdowns, so they're really going to need to put together these plays fast, maybe even use some tempo like Johns Creek was, maybe catch that Johns Creek defense off guard, but they're going to have to do something a little out of the normal to see if they can get back into this game.
So 1st and 10. Ball on the, looks like they spotted him at the 10. High snap. Trainer hands this one off, and bouncing around like a pinball machine is Peyton Lucas. And he gets back to the line of scrimmage, and that'll bring up 2nd and 10. So all that comes of that one is Sequoyah going to go to the near side hash mark now. Josh Price checking into the game for the Chiefs. And he's going to come out to the wide receiver slot. He'll be the lone receiver for Sequoyah. As Trainer settles in under center again, he'll drop back and look for Price, but that one is going to be swatted down by the big man himself, T.A. Alexander.
Bring up 3rd down for the Chiefs.
Correction, that's Alex Cunningham who swatted that one down. I have no idea where I got the Alexander from. So Cunningham swats that one down. The sophomore defensive line standout gets a hand on that one, and it's 3rd and 10 for Sequoyah deep in their own end with 8:14 left to go. Trainer tries to keep it himself, and he is swallowed up by a host of Gladiators for a big loss. So the clock continues to run as that sack puts Sequoyah back at about 4th and 13, and they're going to have to punt from their own end zone. After the night the special teams have had, you kind of hold your breath and hope they can just get this punt off. Low snap, has to sidestep it, and running out of the end zone, and that one is tossed behind to Lucas, and he's going to pick up the 1st down on probably the craziest broken play I've seen. So a huge 1st down for Sequoyah.
Chase, I don't know really
After
what to say there.
I don't know either. After a blown-up play, we've got a Gladiator down on the field. That is Josh Thompson, who's had a really, really big night for the Gladiators. You hate to see him go down, but hope that he'll be hopping back up pretty soon as the training staff attends to him. Will, what did we just see?
I'm not really sure. It looks like the scoreboard said number 7, Isaiah Sanders, picked up the first down on that. I mean,
I guess Ryan must have flipped it to him, and he ran all the way for the first down.
Well, actually, I think what happened was that he let go of the ball, and then Sanders must have picked it up from the ground and just taken it to get a first down, I guess.
So the special teams coming full circle as a broken play results in a Sequoyah first down.
I mean, I'm not sure many people can explain it, but I can guarantee you they'll take it. So Chiefs are back in it all of a sudden.
So after another fourth down conversion, the Chiefs with a new set of downs as Thompson still being worked on by the Johns Creek training staff. Hope to see him get up pretty soon. He's had a fantastic game, that young man has, and he is standing up, and he'll be helped off by the Gladiators medical team. So 7:16 left to go, and
Sequoyah given a second chance here.
yeah, Sequoyah gets to take another stab at it. Will, I'm still just kind of in shock of what that was.
Definitely never seen a play like that before.
We had just said it. We said you kind of just hope they get the punt off, but that was one of those times where you should be careful what you wish for, because Sequoyah, with a new set of downs now with Trainer in the shotgun, one wide receiver to the far side of the field, fakes the handoff, rolls out of the pocket again, and a shot downfield. He's going to find, no, he overthrows Cameron Massey by quite a bit. So Sequoyah trying to take a little shot down the field, and that'll bring up 2nd and 10.
And remember, Chase, we talked about how crucial it is that the Chiefs get yards either on the first or second down, because if they don't get that, they really can't count on that third down, because that's just not how the wing tee works. Getting those short yards won't get them enough to the first down.
So they'll have to get a big portion of it here on 2nd and 10. Trainer still in the shotgun, a bad snap. He handles it, though, and he's just going to go down and try and live to fight another day. And Sequoyah with a huge loss, and that'll bring up 3rd down and long again. So 3rd and long coming up once again for Sequoyah.
And Chase, just something to note that Sequoyah's regular snapper, 72, Dimitri Morris, is out tonight, I believe with a knee injury, so there may just be some lack of communication lack of chemistry between Trainer and I'm not quite sure who's playing center right now, but
Trainer changing it up at the line. Going to move both wingbacks out. Now 4 wide receivers, but they're going to hand this one off up the middle and not going to get enough for even an original first down, as they might make it back to a yard shy of the original line of scrimmage. So 4th down and 11 coming up. Let's see if that punt team can come up with some more magic. As with time winding down, 5 minutes and 45 seconds. Sequoyah going to punt this one away, and Sequoyah can't get the snap off in time again, my word. So another delay of game for the Chiefs will move them back 5 yards.
seems to be death by 1,000 penalties tonight here for the Chiefs.
.533 left to go in the game. As Smith back to take the punt. Good kick there by Ryan. Smith has to chase this one all the way back to the 40-yard line, and he is headed back the other way. He cuts back across the field, And the kicker misses the tackle, but he'll be brought down at about the 42-yard line. So excellent field position for the Gladiators with 5:17 left to go. As it looks like the clock is about to strike midnight on this Chiefs shot at winning a region opener. Slot receiver in motion again. Handoff up the middle to Johnson. Johnson picks up about 4 yards the hard way. And now the clock games begin. As Johns Creek going to go ahead and start slowing it down. Play clock at 15. Will, it's disappointing. It looked like Sequoyah was going to be able to, claw their way back into this one, but it just wasn't meant to be. As Johnson takes the handoff again, and he'll run for a first down and then some. As he is finally brought down after a big pickup at the Sequoyah 25-yard line.
And as you said, Chase, it looks like Johns Creek will just give Sequoyah a little bit of their own medicine here. Just running slowly but surely towards that end zone, not needing to run that tempo anymore as they're up by 14, so they can just take it slow and steady now. So the Chiefs defense is going to have to step up big here if they want to give their offense another shot here to put some more scores on the board.
And Johns Creek is going to use every bit of that play clock they can. Sequoyah got a couple of timeouts left. Another handoff up the middle. No gain on the Johnson carry. And we've got another Gladiators player who's in pain. As he's trying to get to his feet, and he does. Looks like number 50 took a pretty hard hit. That is the offensive lineman, Will Lipsitz. I'm glad to see him hop right back up. It looked like he was nursing his leg a little bit. So 10 seconds left to go on the play clock, 3:12 left in the game, and another handoff to Johnson, and he is stuffed once again at the line of scrimmage. So that brings up 3rd and 10. Will, you got to think Johns Creek not really too worried about it. We saw their kicker already hit a 47-yard field goal tonight. So if Sequoyah stops them on this one, you got to think that the kicker, McCray Ball, is going to come back out and try to put another one through the uprights for the Gladiators. 2 wide receivers near, 1 wide receiver far. They brought in an extra tight end, running back to the right of the quarterback. He'll hand this one off up the middle, and Johnson gets all of it and then some, and that's another first down for Johns Creek. So 2:22 left to go in the game, and Johns Creek is inside Sequoyah's 10-yard line. So as the clock winds, Will, our next broadcast will be on the 15th of October as Sequoyah welcomes Chattahoochee to Skip Popp Memorial Stadium. After this, Johns Creek going to get to host Riverwood for their second region game of the week. Sequoyah going to take some time off to get healthy next week before that game. And a touchdown for Johns Creek as a strike is fired into Thompson by Durham. And if it was ever in doubt before, that removes all doubt with 1:47 seconds left as Johns Creek puts another touchdown on the board. So, Will, it looks like this Johns Creek team is going to be a force to be reckoned with this year in region play. We'll have to see how some of the other teams square up against them when they meet them head-to-head. As the extra point goes up and in through the uprights. Your score with 1:47 left to go in the game. Johns Creek 41, Sequoyah 20.
Chase, I think you're definitely right. Johns Creek will be one of the teams to beat this year. I mean, we saw a lot of things that were really looking good for them. We saw the ability to run tempo early in that first half, and they were just able to quickly get a jump start on that Chiefs offense, going up, I believe it was 14-6. And with those, their quarterback has really been doing a good job too, just getting those deep passing plays, just being able to get points quickly, which is a great sign for them, especially if they're ever in a situation where they are behind with not a lot of time. And Chase, I think a matchup that's really going to be worth watching is the Johns Creek River Ridge match on October 29th. That's going to be a matchup of two heavyweights for sure. I think that'll be a great battle.
That will definitely be a good one to watch. I want to thank everybody for joining us tonight on ChiefsTV.org. If you're a Johns Creek fan, things could not be going better for you. If you're a Sequoyah fan, a lot of things to work on, but still all of your aspirations for a postseason still very much in front of you, as it's only the first region game of the year. But, Will, I think the story of the second half is going to be the tale of missed opportunities. Sequoyah came out firing on all cylinders in the second half, and it seemed as though the momentum had shifted all the way towards Sequoyah, reeling Johns Creek into within a touchdown. As the kickoff is going to be taken right at about the goal line. Sequoyah's got some space to get loose, and Trainer's going to be tackled just short of the 45-yard line. So a good return there for Matthew Trainer. But at this point in the game, it's a moot point, as Sequoyah trails by 21 with 99 seconds left to go in the game.
And Chase, you are right. It hasn't been all bad for the Chiefs in this second half. Well, Johns Creek has outscored them by a few touchdowns. They did come out looking very good out of that locker room, much better than they had in the first half. And they were able to get that quick touchdown and a couple defensive stops. But unfortunately, after that, things just did not go their way and fell out of their grasp a little bit.
The kickoff return by Johns Creek, a little bit too much for the Chiefs to overcome, as Trainer drops back, and Sequoyah just going to start heave-hoing it, as Trainer's able to find Hancock for a big pickup on first down. 27 left to go in the game. Once again, you'll see your Sequoyah Chiefs for their next game on October 1st. Their bye week is next week. They'll have some time to get healthy, but they will travel to Creekview on the 1st of October as Trainer gets smoked as he fires a completion to Josh Price. So Trainer takes a pretty big shot, but he's able to complete the pass. So Sequoyah up to the 40 now with a minute left to go in the game. That Creekview Sequoyah game will be broadcast on WLJA. That'll be Will Cooper, and that one's picked off. And a lot of room to work with, as going down at the 39-yard line is going to be Enzo Ferrucci, the senior defensive back, and that'll be all she wrote. With 46 seconds left, Johns Creek 41, Sequoyah 20. Once again on WLJA on October 1st, Will Cooper, Dave Gardner, Art Mosley and the gang will be bringing to you all that coverage. So tune in your radio dials to listen to that one, as the Owen Store Road rivalry will be renewed. Hopefully Sequoyah has some time to nurse these injuries on that bye week, as Johns Creek going to go ahead and get into victory formation as they take a knee with 46 seconds left to go. Will, once again, Sequoyah still has their entire postseason aspirations ahead of them. So this isn't a this isn't a crippling loss, but it is definitely something to look at and say, boy, the Chiefs have a lot of things they have to work on this year.
Yeah, that's correct. And I don't think you gotta give it to Johns Creek. They played really, really well tonight. They just had everything going right for them on all the different squads that they put out there. And I think the Chiefs, yeah, like you said, definitely have a lot to work on. They didn't look as good as they had earlier in the season against games like, say, Woodstock and Cherokee. They have had their bright spots. They did have some bright spots tonight. It would have been interesting to see if the Chiefs could have cut back on the penalties, how this game would have turned out. But ultimately, the Chiefs will fall to Johns Creek.
So a tough loss for Sequoyah in their region opener. Johns Creek comes in and has an offensive clinic as they outscore Sequoyah 41-20. Chiefs will take a week off to regroup. Johns Creek is going to go to 3-1 as they are going to take on Riverwood next Friday night from their home field. I want to thank everybody for joining us once again on ChiefsTV.org. I want to thank everybody and all the students who have been working so diligently to put out a quality football broadcast for everyone. That goes for Will and all the people behind the camera, Noah up there, and Noah up there on the producer's tablet, and our right-hand man over here who's been guarding the door for us the entire game. So thanks once again, Sequoyah Chiefs fans, and if you're a Johns Creek fan, we hope you enjoyed it. We hope we provided you with a quality broadcast and viewing experience. We thank you all again for joining us here on Chiefs TV. Sequoyah drops their region opener to Johns Creek 41-20. We'll see you in mid-October as Sequoyah welcomes the Chattahoochee Cougars on October 15th to Skip Popp Memorial Stadium. Be safe and have a fantastic evening. Once again, I am Chase Shaffer, and joining me is Will Cooper, and we say good night and have a great evening.